What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of Spin from the Reel, and once again, I am Matt, and joining me as always is the personality of the Who Are They Real Entertainment Network, Chris Anthony Lopez.
Oh, stop it. You know what, dude? Today, I'm not even going to lie to you. I am gassed. And first and foremost, thank you to everyone who's joining us. New day, new time, new everything for the most part. We still look the same. We're still super crusty, Matt and I, but you know what? Yo, we're doing the show on Mondays now, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're joining us now, thank you. If you're catching the rewind or the rewind, thank you. So you know what? I took a nap before the show started, and I thought I was late. Like, it was one of those. I still thought we were at 5 Eastern, or no, 5 Central. And I'm like, yo, oh my God. Like, I woke up at 6:30, like, no, like, I'm late, Matt's gonna be pissed. And we had Amaru and Jesse and Thomas and so many other great people are coming on the show, and they're gonna be all pissed at me, bro. And then I wake up and
looked at his phone, didn't see him missed calls, and was like, "Oh, I'm good."
I'm like, wait a second, like, this is sus. Like, Matt would have called me by now, and he would have been freaking out, because I love getting a Matt Thomas freak out call or the text like, "Yo, call me ASAP." Like,
yo, that was warranted. Don't even play like that.
Yeah, I think we all learned something today from Twitter, and it's just be nice. Yes. Just be nice to each other.
Yes.
For the love of God.
But no, like Chris mentioned, we got a great show for you tonight. We got 6 amazing guests, and we're going to bring them on by division. So we're going to actually start off with the IG division, and then we're going to go to Star Wars, and then we'll finish up with singles/teams.
Damn right.
So, Chris, you want to introduce our guests?
Yes. Okay, so first of all, first guest, friend of the program. He's been on the show before. I believe he came on a couple weeks ago, right before he was drafted. We had no idea what he was capable of, and now we totally know what he's capable of. He's quirky AF. It's the main man, it's the homie, Jesse Swift. Jesse Swift, what's going on, homie? You good?
I'm doing great. I hope that you can introduce me with that same pizzazz every time. Just Swift.
It's only because I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep. So 1,000%, I can do you some type of justice going forward. Although, I mean, your superheroics, they're definitely going to lead you into season 8. But we'll talk about that more in a second.
I have failed you because I'm literally staring at my Inner Geekdom shirt right over there, and I didn't think about the fact you guys are doing it by division. I was like, oh my. Instead, just shameless plug. Hey, check out the Flickin' Real fan cast on YouTube and Spotify and all that jazz.
Well, I mean, and you'll have your time, especially towards the end, to really go ahead and plug all your crazy stuff. But our second guest, actually, I don't know about him, but he shocked the whole community. Like, this one man by himself, people already knew who he was. He's 1/4 of the fan league for, and single-handedly, with the most suspect draft pick of the whole draft, the second overall pick, going to the usual suspects, it's Amaru Moses. Amaru!
Real quick, I just want to say, Chris, you're lucky I didn't drop you off screen after that pun.
Yeah. Nothing unusual about this suspect.
Bad suspect, fam. Look, y'all were shocked by that pick. Y'all are going to be shocked when I actually show up in one of these singles and team matches and dominate, or just at least play.
I'm not, because I've talked to Mike Shea and heard about the whooping you put on him. So
that was IG, though. That was IG. IG, I'm very confident. Singles and teams, I just won in. But I'm happy to be here, y'all. What's going on?
Yo, it's
not
going on,
much.
Dude.
You honestly, you were the big domino to fall that night, because you were the first shock, followed by another shock, and it was just like everything just came unraveling at that point. So I've been really excited to talk to you, honestly.
Appreciate it.
Plus, there's not a lot of us brown folks on the Schmoedown, so it's always nice.
Let's go. Man, it was mad shocking. I was not expecting it in any way, shape, or form. If there's any manager who you would not be surprised that didn't really speak to anybody, it's Sam, for reasons. He's an actor. The man's busy. So, like, throughout the process, I'm like, I probably won't hear from Sam. There's probably not a lot of people hearing from Sam. But with Rachel behind him and how much he likes it, I know he's watching. And with that pick, I was like, oh, well, he's definitely watching. but I was not expecting it at all. I thought maybe Kaiser's crazy enough. He might want to shock everybody and do something. There was enough buzz around me. I was like, I would be a little less shocked if Kaiser picked me number one, but the entire time I was like, he's going Mara. So, and then from there, I was like, all right, Kate did the funny name thing with my name on backstage, so at least she knows who I am. I was looking forward to the Jesus and Mero neon sign above my head anytime she would say my name. That'd have been great. So one, I was like, there's a 5% chance. And then from 3 on, I was like, I don't know who's picking me, but it ain't going to be 2. So when he started talking and he said Ken Griffey and he said Chris Bryant, I zoned out. Complete zoned out. And then he said my name and I went full Samuel L. You saw the reaction. We were there together. Christina was gone. She wasn't expecting nothing. And she came back like, what is going on? Why are we yelling? Rue got picked at 2. What is going on? I am still asking what's going on right now. I don't know.
Not but round 2, pick 2.
Right. So you were like, so internally, even though you were celebrating on the outside, you were like Chadwick Boseman in draft day going like, I just went where?
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Like that was a very much fan. Really? You talk about okay. All right. Let's do it. So I'm mad happy where I'm at. So
yeah, I can understand why. And Jesse, we're not gonna slight you because I was on stereo with you before the draft. And you were of the mindset, well, I'll if I don't get drafted, I'll go on the fan league. You had told me what team you wanted to go to the most. And lo and behold, in the 3rd round, guess who takes you?
Listen, I don't. Am I not muted? Okay, I'm not muted anymore. Okay, I don't. I'm not gonna take anything away from Amaru because I told Chris earlier. I was like, that was the one. That was like the second loudest reaction I had for the entire draft was for Amaru. I was like, damn. But so both of us, I think Amaru, I believe on Frankie's draft, you were number 18. Was that right?
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, right? Like I think you and me were both stoked to see it there. I was on 58, so I was a ways up there. But again, I was more than happy to be on there. I think both of us superseded our predictions by a lot.
Thanks, Ferris.
Look, we found out we have a connection. So, anytime Ferris pops up, one of his boys, I coached in 6th grade. I coached his basketball team.
Oh,
I actually might have coached against Ferris.
Oh,
yeah. We figured that out, and we were just like, okay, well, so that connection is there. Very fam. Let's go. Sorry, Jesse.
No, you're good. I have to surgically remove a cat real quick.
Oh, Goose is still there?
Yeah, word.
I'll drop you real quick, Jesse.
But look, oh my God, Amaru. So, first of all, has anyone ever done Amaru, Civil War? Has anyone done that before, or can I take credit for doing that?
Okay, Civil War, you can take credit for that, but the amount of times, Amaru, that's just it's a normal thing. The amount of different ways my name has been pronounced and said in my life. It's very countless. So that I will tell you though, I don't think anybody has done the Underoos Amaru thing. So I like that.
See, thanks. See, I'm out here innovating. So
man, I feel like I missed gold.
You gotta catch up, Jesse. But I think the craziest shit, right? So Matt and I were actually watching the draft together, virtually, of course, because we are in 2 drastically different parts of the country. And we saw Mara go first, and if people are like, you know what, not too surprising. Kaiser's out here stirring the pot, trying to get that inner geekdom monopoly going again. And then Sam starts talking about baseball. Chris Bryant, as a Cubs fan, I'm like, I see what he's trying to say, but what the hell is he trying to say? And then he says Amaru Moses, and Matt and I, we both screech because we're just like, what?
There's video proof of it. I downloaded it. I forgot to cut it up today.
And I can't even imagine what was going through your mind, Amaru, and you, because like you said, I didn't talk to Sam. I'm not gonna go to the suspects, or at least not yet. And then at 2, you're the 2nd overall pick in this 2021 draft, and that's all right, man. Time to go. Pressure's on.
That's really is. I am really the good thing I'm feeling is I'm not feeling pressure. That is one thing I am not going to put on myself. Every manager I talk to, and with Sam afterwards, my goal is to be better at the end than I am at the beginning. Period. That's the only pressure I have on myself. So if I come out the gate with a loss, I better be done with 3 wins, going 3-1. If I come out the gate with a win, well, that gives me the confidence that I can get a number 1 contender shot before the end of the year. Like, it really is just getting better every match. That's the only pressure I have on myself. Outside of that, I'm not feeling it. I'm not trying. There was one little thing that Jesse, looking at the Mercs, I'm also sorry, I'm putting this on you now. We're low-key carrying IG for our factions.
Yeah.
Low-key doing that. And I saw that. I was like, oh, wait, okay. Maybe a little pressure. But I feel like I'm up for it, man. I really do. I'm very good at IG. And there are new categories. I'll say that. And it's a lot. So a lot of people are on an even playing field with that. But I have not been disappointed in what I've done in a match after I've been disappointed in a match. Like, I've had slices that are weaknesses that are now one of my top strengths. So as long as that keeps going, I'm good.
I respect that. And you actually hit on something that I want to talk about. A lot of people perceived IG as the low man on the totem pole this year. The talent didn't hit like they wanted it to last year. You got a lot of 4 division players. So in the draft pool, IG was a little bit lower, but you guys ended up being some of the first IG players taken in general. So that, I know, Rue, you already said it doesn't put pressure on you as just going for it as a player, but pressure on you as to possibly being the new faces of this division.
I think I like that Amaru was talking about how much no pressure. And then, like, I was like, yeah, no pressure. And they just threw that out. And I was like, whoa, some pressure. Hey, Danny, what's going on? Yeah, so I'm looking at it, and, like, I have some strong Star Wars competitors on my faction, and I'm really looking forward to them upping specifically my, like, Star Wars wedge knowledge. Like, I love Star Wars. It's not one of my weaknesses, but these guys live and breathe and sweat Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to doing a lot of studying with them. But I think he hit the nail on the head that we are potentially, like, not just the faces of our factions for IG, but possibly for the whole division.
Look, the thing is, another thing I try to do to not put pressure on myself is I try to just put it out there. Like, yo, I'm about to start going up against Dan Merle at some point when he decides to go in IG, or I'm going to be one of the dudes eventually going up against Mara, possibly. I'm putting that out there and getting geeked for that to try to just smash down all that. What the is going on right now? Feeling it's down there somewhere.
No, that's awesome, because we want to see, like, Chris knows I run a fan league. Your boy Tony actually hit us up the other day, giving us some props, and I appreciate that. But I love seeing fan leaguers succeed. It's just so great to see other people who were basically once like you, just want to do nothing but show that they can make it. And we did a training session with Jesse, so I know he's got. I haven't gotten to watch much on you, unfortunately. School, work, all this podcasting, it catches up to you quick. You get no schedule. But I'm really looking forward to see what
Rue knows about that production. I see him out here with these reviews all the time.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
Sure. But the two of y'all, not only are you essentially spearheading y'all's factions in regards to a certain division, but y'all some fresh faces. And this is the first time in the Schmoedown where we've gotten so many new people since the beginning.
What was it, 35 rookies?
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, that's so many folks, and a lot of y'all were taken way sooner than some people expected. You know, so are you? Oh, you're a Hufflepuff. Hell yeah!
I am.
I was seconds from wearing my Ravenclaw sweater. It's like right over there.
Yeah,
I'm a
I know you want to
Gryffindor.
wear
I
it.
ain't
I
getting
know you
into
want
this
to.
shit.
Okay, but going into this, so this question's for the both of you. What are y'all's feelings going into the league now? Yeah, it was a dream. Y'all were like, am I good enough to make it? And am I going to get drafted? But now y'all are in. Y'all are in the thing now. So how has it been the last few days? Because this happened Friday night. Both of y'all went awfully early in the evening. And now here we are on Monday. How did it feel waking up on Monday to start not only your regular week, but, I got to talk to Sam Levine. I got to go talk to Coy Jandro in a couple hours, in a couple days. Like, the season starts in a few weeks. So how is that for y'all going forward?
Fam, I'm tired. Fam, I am tired. I was like, wait a second. That was only 3 days ago. That wasn't a week ago, because that's kind of what it feels like. And it's outside of the tiredness, outside of getting back to the regular day-to-day, like, oh man, okay, sure, let's go through this too. I'm just geeked, man. The only live event I've ever been to is the Atlanta live event, right before everything shut down.
Chicago for us.
And my other, she was like, so when you're up here, I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And the fact that might happen, the fact that I'm virtually going to do it, and there's the potential for us to be at a live event and that to like come to fruition, that's just more of like just being proud of myself, and just more so, even more than that, like so happy with the people around me, because the people around me have always bigged me up, have always been, like you said, Tony's one of the greatest dudes I've ever met. Jacoby, Christina, and Peggy are like, I couldn't have navigated this without them. So I'm just happy, man. I'm just mad happy. So
that's awesome. Hell yeah, brother. And Jesse, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said this before, that looking and watching the Schmoedown for years, it was always kind of like one of those dreams in the back of your mind, but you can't call it a goal because there's no pathway. Every goal you just set a path to, and it just was such a disconnect that I was like, I have no idea. And then 2020 happened, seemed like one nightmare after another, but part of that created this like digital league in this new avenue for the Schmoedown. And then through that, Christian said, we're just going to open the floor to rookies and auditions and things like that. Did I think I had a needle in a haystack chance? No, but I would kick myself if I didn't try. So I made that audition and I threw it out there and hit that first initial draft list. And I was shocked. And again, like my confidence didn't really grow at being on the draft list because nobody knew who I was. But then, started talking with people, started getting on the shows, started feeling a little bit of confidence, started getting really excited. And now I'm with Amaru. All these things that I've been watching forever, I could be on. These things that I've shared with people, with my family or fiance. I'm now officially a part of that machine. I can say that I'm on a team with Kevin Smith, which is something that I can bring up to casual people like in the store or whatever. I'm like, like I'm going to eventually talk with Kevin Smith, and not everyone can say that. And that's exciting.
Look, fam, with Jesse, some people might say it's a little bit much, but the dude literally went from nobody knows his name to absolutely everybody in the Schmoedown community knows who this man is. He went to work. So if he puts in that, if you put in that work as much as you put in the studying, I know you're ready to go. Because that was a lot.
See, that was a conversation we had on Friday before the draft, Jesse, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the focus I get to shift now, because prior to the drafting, I was doing some studying just in case, and I enjoy watching the Inner Geekdom films anyways, but it was all in on the personality and the appearances and pushing the name. Now, a lot of that moving forward is going to be done for me, whether it's kind of like with promos or like I only have to do like a little bit of character work and stuff like that. Oops, sorry about you, Mike. But so now all that energy I can redirect into studying, doing my notes, having the sessions, doing mock matches and stuff like that. So it's really just a shifting of energy.
And the both of y'all, I mean, and we've already touched on this, especially with your last answer, Jesse, but both of y'all approached this and came up in two different ways. Like Amaru, like you had three other folks to back you up, and y'all were essentially pitching yourselves as a group, or like together, y'all were pitching each other separately. so you can all potentially be in this, and now here y'all are. And Jesse had to come up, like you said, like you had to build your own name and look at you. Like, plus Jesse Swift, that name just rolls off the tongue. It's hard to sell Chris Anthony Lopez.
Thanks, Dad.
So, I mean, the future of the Schmoedown is super bright, especially with people like y'all. And I know, Amaru, this is our first time speaking. And Jesse, I know we've been bucking you every day since you came on the show the first time.
Or a little bit of vice versa.
Yeah,
I was like,
we're definitely blowing up each other's DMs. And Amaru, hopefully you'll be cool with me blowing up your DMs the second the show ends. So, well, I want to ask you guys, now that you're in, like, Jesse, when we asked you this last time, it was a hypothetical. Now y'all are in this thing. How's IG looking? Because now we have all these new revelations. Dan's like, I'm playing Inner Geekdom. Oh, are you? Oh, okay, word. Mara's out here like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play Star Wars too. Oh shit, so you're out here splitting your time between these two divisions. Okay, changes at the top of the mountain. And now both of y'all are trying to climb your way up in your respective factions. Like, how do y'all view Inner Geekdom now that you're a part of it?
Did you hear that? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Was that like a bundle of plastic bags?
So
Yep.
I have one of those cat tunnels.
Oh, okay. Word.
I'm sorry. I would have muted it.
You're fine. But how are y'all looking at Inner Geekdom now that you're a part of the division?
I think it's the steepest it's ever been. It's in the words of Miley Cyrus, it is the climb.
Fantastic.
But I'm looking forward to the challenge. I love that there's so many movies that were added onto it that really help level the playing field, because many of these movies the competitors have been studying for years, and so there's a lot of questions that they were ready for before the season even started. But now you got your Pirates of the Caribbean, your Planet of the Apes and stuff, and they're going to be studying a lot of the same movies as we are at the same time, so that we're not at such a disadvantage. And I'm really excited for that.
Well, Rue, I do want to pull this up, and Jesse, yours should be up shortly. But this was Chris's and the Ragent, because we were in the Ragers draft room. This is Chris's and the Ragent's reaction to you getting drafted.
And what do I want? Do I want someone who's going to play a match, win it or lose it, and then be benched?
He usually
for a
plays
while,
like a
waiting for
geeky guy
someone else? No,
in movies.
I want Ricky Jr. I want Chris Bryant. And I want Amaru Moses.
Whoa!
Wow.
I didn't know how ugly my side profile was, but yeah, that's definitely
side profile. I'm talking about that Rager. What was that filmed on?
that's my 8-year-old laptop he was on. So
Did you say AD?
no. It's 8 years old. Notice I have this nice little setup. This is not attached to that laptop.
I think that's universally what the reaction was. Like, period. I think we had people in England on our stream, and just in at least 7 different time zones, people just went crazy and just started yelling. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But to answer your other question about how IG's looking, I'll tell you this. There are a lot of rookies coming into IG we know nothing about. So not knowing whether or not whether they're going to come out swinging or whether they're overhyped or whatever, and that's including me. You might have some tape on me, but again, Jesse's right. The amount of categories coming in levels the playing field a lot for a lot of people. But when it comes to me, if I can play my game and if I can do what I am used to doing, including those new categories, I'm looking up at 3 people, and that's it. That's my goal. But it's the if. It's the big if. If I can make sure I'm doing what I need to do, if I can get up on these categories, and I don't lose the knowledge I know I have. That's my outlook right now. I'm looking up at 3 people, and hoping to get to them. So.
Yeah, that's three folks. That's in a large division like Inner Geekdom. Like we just saw this past season, how grand it is because of the tournament. There are definitely some folks to to keep your eye on, but 3. I'm not going to ask you 3. We'll keep that. We'll keep that to yourself.
That's fine. Like I said, I will say though, the mystery of the rookies is what's making me like, ooh, I need to really make sure I'm on my stuff because I got no idea what they're doing. And they can come in and just sweep the rug right under me. So I'm saying that to make sure I keep myself where I need to be. And that's what the mindset's got to be.
No, man, 1,000%. And I love that we had the both of y'all on right now together because y'all are in 2 completely different factions. The cultures are established, and they were established in the free agency special. Like whether it's with Jesse and the Mercs, you have Bibiani, you have the Kid, and you have Kevin Smith. Amaru, you have Drew McWeeny, holy shit, Liz Shannon Miller, and Ethan Irwin, right? Like the cultures have been established. I know y'all have been in the faction for 3 days. 3 days.
3 glorious sets
but
of 24
assessing
hours.
the rest of the faction and the other 11 folks that are in there besides yourself, like how fucking cool is it? Like, oh my god, I'm so in awe just talking to y'all, like, and how y'all were in a similar position to me, like just watching the Schmoedown every week. Oh man, I like this faction, I like this faction, boo Ben Bateman, boo. And now here we are, and y'all are going into this thing with 2 of the most respected factions, with 2 of the most respected managers in the Schmoedown, and 2 completely different cultures. So just jumping into that, how's that feel? Like that's so crazy to me.
Bro, I was already excited. Being on, and just the thought of not only having Sam, but having damn near the GOAT in IG also being right next to him helping out. And then she told everybody to put some respect on Sam's name, and I am so damn hyped. I am so hyped because we have never seen Rachel like clapping people. Just to know that she has that, like, yo, fam, the second she put that, I was like, Birdman, let's go all day. I am ready. It got me even more hyped, and she wasn't lying. We have one of the most even though it's rookie heavy, we have a balanced ass faction. Talking about 2 former belt holders. Liz killed it last year. Everybody always forgets and then doesn't forget Stacey Howard, and that's for a reason, because when her name gets brought up, you're like, oh. Paul Walter-Hauser, I think, is mad hungry. I've talked to a bunch of the rookies on my squad already, and I can tell they're mad hungry. Marie,
you have a jewel on your team.
Yeah, Marie is the least talked about Dragon Con player, and she about to, she about to get it. And then we have a Doug. I love how she ended. We have a Doug, and the Doug is gonna be just hilarious. So I am so excited about my faction. I'm so excited how balanced and how much we're gonna go through. And then also we have somebody who helped one of the best Star Wars players study last year. That's not named Molly. So I'm mad excited about all of it.
And Jesse, how's it feel to be a Merc, brother?
It feels great because like what else can I say except like how lucky am I to be on the one team that nobody hates? Tell me I'm wrong. Show me the person that you can have an issue with on the Mercs. It's just whether or not it's the number one like performance, I think we are arguably the most likable faction out there. So I'm happy to be a part of that. Obviously when I first came full force into like the Schmoedown Facebook page, I was doing a little bit of some heel action, but that's because I was basing that off of the first people to reach out to me. I was trying to make a clear and precise point. But now I can just be me and focus on the study, and there's a little bit of confidence that comes with that. But I'm excited to be with what feels like my people. I don't feel like there's much adjustment period. We got our private chat going. We got the whole group together, and the interaction's already like I've been hanging out with these people for months, and so that's a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get some live events that I can, shake these people's hands. God forbid we get past this freaking whole thing, but it's been great. It's been nothing but a pleasure.
Well, before we let you guys go, because we do have other guests we got to get to, Jesse, I promise you we'd have that too. So here we go.
Yes!
Yes! Let's fucking go!
I was not aware that Chris knew who I was.
Yeah, I mean, I just get really excited for folks that don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
like,
you
I
weren't
mean-
showing is like that was your reaction to every single draft, right? The entire time. How's your voice doing? Did you have some water today?
Look, so that whole night, like Amaru, like you set that standard, right? Like when Amaru got drafted, I'm like, are you like, this is what we're doing tonight? This is what we're doing tonight. Like I cannot predict anything. I am the fucking worst. I'm not gonna even say anything anymore because like obviously Sam or whoever was in the circle saw something in Amaru, and now here you are. Right, and you didn't, and the fact that my man didn't talk to Sam,
I gotta-
it's crazy as hell.
I gotta
It's
say
so
something,
crazy.
hopefully on behalf of Amaru and myself. How I'm very grateful that neither of us as rookies were absorbed by the gelatinous blob that is the Finstock Exchange that decided they were going to take every rookie coming in and just bring them on. So we get to stand on our own.
Jesse, you remember what show you're on, right? You remember what show you're on, right?
We don't show any bias over here at Spin from the Real. Maybe
No,
some,
I'm just.
not everybody.
It's all in fun. I'm just saying. I like that we get to stand out as the rookies on our faction. I mean, not the only ones, but I feel like we have more of an identity on the suspects and the mercs.
Yeah, this is the one thing I will say about that faction. Even before Finstock said I was the worst pick in the draft, we already knew Craig was kind of running the show. I trust Craig.
Right.
I trust what he does because I know he did the work. And then he let Dad, be the talking point, the talking
piece.
But it's Craig. It's Craig because he took a shot saying I was the worst pick in the draft. So I'm gonna make sure he knows I heard. But I also know Craig knows what I can do, and I know what Craig can do. So I'm not gonna put Finstock Exchange and say they get craziness because I know that man did his work. For the guy who's just the centerpiece. So
it's all in jest. I was just listening today to Bibiani versus Barbarian. Barbarian was a question away from a perfect game, and it was a question that he knew the answer to and just didn't have the timing right on the. I have all the respect in the world for him, and like you said, he's doing the vast majority of the legwork for the exchange. I feel like the work is Barbarian, Roka, and then Dagnito, but you still have like three people that care very much about the faction, and they took a huge risk, probably maybe the biggest amount of balls of any of the factions, and I'm very interested to see how it works out for them because how do you plan against the exchange? Like outside of their top three that came in, you have no idea how to combat them, so you just have to be ready for it.
See, and the fact that I'm so happy y'all are here to kick off this show. Like it's like this is Inner Geek is my favorite division to watch, and I love it. Already have like some type of fandom for every competitor involved for different reasons. But the fact that we got people like y'all joining the division, it's gonna be a good time. So like watching Jesse with the Mercs or like Amaru, like it's gonna be dope.
Somebody make that meme.
Yeah, like, and you can use my likeness or don't. I don't want this ugly mug any more than it already is. But before we let you guys go, please like plug whatever you got going on, like all the socials where you get your t-shirts. I remember that, Jesse.
We will start with Jesse.
All that crazy stuff.
Oh, mine's super easy, super quick. I got the full screen. All right. Well, you're looking for Flick in Real. This is nice because you can actually see how it's spelled. It's Flick -N-REEL, just like these guys. And you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, and most audio formats. We do WandaVision reviews. We talk general movie news and did trailer reaction for Kong and Godzilla. So just some fun, exciting stuff. Pop over there and hit that subscribe button and bell icon and all that good stuff.
All right, and Amaru.
All right, so I'm trying to since this is not being able to see it, I'm gonna try to put it in
Hold
the chat.
on. I'm gonna do this real quick for you. Bam.
Yeah, appreciate it because sometimes it's hard to explain how it's spelled. But if you look at Amaru Moses anywhere, IG, Twitter, and Facebook. I put a bunch of different handles on different shows because I do a lot of different things. But my particular one is Reviews. It's Reviews on Twitter. It's you can find my name, but also Reviews on IG. Yuri Reviews in YouTube. That's URI Reviews. I got a show called One Gotta Stay. I do it every Monday, every other Monday. It'll be next Monday. Sorry, y'all. Where I give you 4 impossible choices, and you pick. It's not one gotta go. It's one gotta stay. And I do music. I do movies. I do a bunch. Last week, I went into my neo soul vibe. I did Music Soul Child, Maxwell, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, or Jill Scott, and you can only pick one to stay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's lovely. Fellas, any of y'all ever want to come on, you got a week off where I can even move the time, don't matter. I try to do it at 6, so it works. Anytime y'all want on, just look out for me there. And I do reviews as well. And Bite Size Breakdown on IG. If you follow any of this, you'll see all my stuff that I'm doing. So yeah.
Well, trust me, we're always at 8. No,
Yeah,
coming on if it's at 6.
Stereo. Forgot to bring up Stereo. I think most of us are on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Follow us on Stereo at our respective names. I think you can find me under Jesse Swift or Flick and Reel.
Yep.
Amaru, you on there?
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna move on to our next guests.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you. Y'all the best. Oh my God.
All right. Next up, we got 2 people, returning guests that we are excited to talk to.
Yes, sir.
They are 2 of the 3 touted Dragon Con players. We love talking to them. We love having them on. And that is the Marie Wilson and Thomas Harper.
Hey guys.
What is up, guys?
How you doing,
my
guys?
God. Yo, congratulations on being in the Schmoedown now. We just got done talking to another suspect, Marie. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
Thomas Harper, the first Star Wars player taken off the board at number 3 with the Den. Dude, congrats. That's wild. That's
Thank
awfully wild.
Real quick, because I already have them queued up. I didn't have them queued up before. So hold on. Marie.
Welcome to
Thank you. Marie's
There,
the
Marie.
rule. Marie's looking so much ass.
I always
Chris had a feeling. He was
I love it.
starting to sweat. He's like, why isn't she going yet? Why isn't she going yet? And that's why he's like, it was like a sigh of relief for him. He's like, oh, thank God, fine. Because like we were both shocked. Like we had Evan on the show last week, like right before the draft. So we were shocked when he was gone before. You were like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like, where the hell's Marie? Where the hell? And
Yeah, I started to. I was like, what? Okay. I was like, I mean, there's still lots of rounds to go, so it's all good. It'll happen. But like, I was getting nervous.
Yeah, and there was no timeline. There's no universe that we're living in where you don't get drafted. It was a matter of when. And especially like after watching Thomas get drafted, which I guarantee we'll play that in a second.
I can cue that right now.
Go ahead.
Also, I picked Tom number 1. So I am going to pick Miss Harper.
What the fuck is happening? Yeah,
Reaction.
I was distraught. I was distraught watching the whole time, and I thought it was gonna be a chill night watching the draft, watching a bunch of people I'm a fan of get drafted, and then bang, like Amaru second pick, like whoa, holy shit, Thomas Harper third pick, what the hell, like what's going on? Like,
I'm telling you right now, I had my own mock draft board that I seriously put together and looked at where things would fall and tried to put take me out of my shoes and put me into a manager's shoes. And I didn't have myself going in the first round, but just because like the way I saw other players and whatnot. So I was blown away. I'm still processing it, and that'll probably continue until the season's over. But I was just glad to see the 3 of us get picked up. I mean, you say whatever you want to say about other competitions and stuff like that, but maybe unlike some other competitions, Dragon Con is a family, and so Marie, Zach, and I, while we'll battle it out, and I won't say I hope that I face off against either of them during the season. we see each other every year, and that competition has become over the years a family. And so like we all celebrated Marie when she won this past year. The same happened for Zach and in 2018 and for Alex in 2019. It's just, that's what it is. And so I see like my brother and my sister getting drafted through my eyes. So kudos to those managers who made smart picks.
Yeah,
I
I will
second
say
that.
those are smart picks because, like I said, Evan, good guy, pick up. I had you three as my top. I had the 3 Dragon Con players: Rick Raddus, Jesse, and David
Campbell.
David Campbell as my top 6 rookies. So when I got 5 out of my 6 draft, and I'm still hoping Campbell gets in there on free agency time. But no, I was glad to see you guys go, especially after having the chance to talk to you over the past few weeks. And yeah, it was surreal.
Thanks.
But take us through that night, right? So the both of you guys, I'm assuming you're both watching live like everybody else, like the probably like thousands of people that are already there.
Yeah.
And while I'm over here freaking out in my Spider-Man t-shirt, y'all are probably, probably a little bit nervous. Like I was nervous for y'all, but like I can't even imagine like how we were telling Amaru and Jesse, like just the anticipation or the eagerness to just make sure you get off the board, especially with you guys. Y'all are a different breed. Y'all y'all were part of a group like Amaru was, the Fan League 4, but y'all decided to build up your own names like Jesse Swift because y'all were known for Dragon Con, not the Schmoedown.
Right.
But now it's a whole different game. We've been talking Dragon Con. No more of that. Because now we're here with the Schmoedown, and now y'all can make your names for yourselves. So take us through that night. Like, Thomas, you take off the board first, and we alluded to it a little bit with Marie, but like, just what was your guys' thought processes as the night was progressing?
I was excited. The Dragon Con is like very much a solitary competition. I mean, I won't speak for Marie or Zach, but for me, it's solitary. Like I don't study with anybody. I do my own thing. I prep my own way. And then we come together, and honestly, the best part of that competition is when it's over, with the exception of 2020, when we're not all together. But in normal years, when we can all just get a drink or just like kind of sit and like let the dust settle and commiserate over what the hell we just experienced and got put through. And so, I think coming into this, I was excited to see what my team would shape up to look like. That's what I was most excited to see, because I was like, I know what I can deliver for whoever picks me, whether I'm at the top or the bottom. But I really wanted sort of a tight-knit group, a manager who was going to be there for the players, regardless of their level of knowledge of Star Wars. And so I sat down, like we did a whole big, like we made wings and like fried, like I had this whole spread, like, and my wife was asking, she was like, well, when do you expect something to happen? I was like, we got plenty of time. Don't worry. My name's not going to come up for a while. And then like, there's a reason there's no recording of my reaction, because I'm like digging into wings as it's like happening. I'm like not very photogenic.
You just basically just dropped wing. I take it.
There's a spot on the couch forever from that moment. But in any event, no, it was a great surprise. It was very, very humbling. And I should say, like, for all 3 of us, because of all the talk about Dragon Con, I think we're expected to do good things, big things. I mean, we didn't get the invite into this league to come in and go like 0-2, 0-3, like flame out of the tournament. And so it's a double-edged sword, right? I'm happy to have been picked that way, but that comes with like a certain bit of risk, right? Somebody like that's drafted toward the back end of the draft, or somebody unknown that didn't come on shows and stuff like that, they've got a lot more latitude. Their lane to operate in is almost a lot wider. When you're drafted, particularly with a high, I would say like a top, 4 draft pick, like rounds 1 through 4, there's an expectation there. And so like, it's just like a pro sports league, right? You don't draft Jordan at 3 because you believe he's going to be a mediocre player that maybe can get you just into the playoffs. You're burning that pick on somebody you believe in. So that's the burden right now, to live up to the hype and to perform.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And that's honestly true, especially if you look at let's compare it to the NFL draft, because that's the draft that has 7 rounds you go to, like we have 9 here. Like those first, second, third rounders, those are players you're like, they're going to do for me. By the way, I have to compliment the Captain Cardinal hat in the back or helmet in the background.
Good eyes.
Excited for the First Order Stormtrooper one that's about to come out.
Yes.
But that's what you guys are. You guys are basically the Star Wars players on your respective teams. So does that carry a little bit of extra weight or chip on your shoulder because of that? Is that more of a drive to make sure you don't mess up?
Marie, go ahead.
Well, I mean, irregardless of that, I definitely have a drive not to mess up and to do the absolute best that I can. So, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. I definitely don't want to mess up. Don't want to, go in and just not do well. And like, I've already hardcore started studying. So I'm like ready to go. But yeah, I'm going to do everything it takes. Absolutely. And it is a little nerve-wracking, of course. But yeah.
And that night, like how we were talking about a little bit ago, like you're watching all these Star Wars players taken off the board, whether it's like Thomas or Laura Kelly or Zach Burkett, Evan Bushkar, and then you're waiting for your turn because you know it's coming. Like I don't know about you, but like I think we all knew it was coming.
Right.
Like there like I mentioned, there's no timeline where you didn't get picked up or you fell all the way to whatever round.
It was a shock because most people had the Dragon Con Wars players off the board after like an Andrew De Milanta or a Laura Kelly. So
so that thought process, like how was that? Like I know it was nerve-wracking, but were you like, damn, like am I getting slept on right now? Like was it something like that?
So I watching it from the very beginning, and they announced the First Class League, and I was like, like I felt this sense of relief because I was like, if I don't get drafted, then I can do that. And I was like, okay, now I'm going into this. I'm not as nervous as I was before because there's a plan. And so I'm watching it, and people are getting taken off the board. The Stars has 2 Star Wars players already, and I'm like, wow, okay. And so I was getting really nervous, and I was getting a little down, and I had to use the bathroom. So I went upstairs, and while I was in the bathroom, I heard Marie E. Wilson, final decision. And I was like, ah! And I started screaming. I'm like sitting there and I'm screaming and quickly run downstairs and I'm jumping up and down and I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So
you see, Maria and I had 2 of the most graceful, excellent reaction moments.
I mean, I'm glad I got to like I think my reaction enough might have covered for the 2 of you guys.
That's right.
Because I was definitely maybe that's why I overreacted because I knew they weren't watching or at least they weren't paying attention as closely as we thought they would. Because I mean, holy shit!
Chris didn't expect to see these reactions on here.
No, I did not. I looked awfully crusty that night, so I was I was comfortable. Okay, I was comfortable, and I mean, shit. Watching Thomas go off the board at 3, like not only is it like you're the first Star Wars player taking off the bat. Well, little do we know you're the second because of Mark Kanopik, and we'll get to that in a second. But like you're a rookie and you're going top 3. Like you just had Amaru on. Like that's a lot of not to add on to whatever pressure you're already feeling, but that's some big shoes.
Well, and it came out later that night. He was going top 5 no matter what because Gucci said if Thomas Harper had fallen to 5, that was going to be our pick.
Mm-hmm. So like holy shit! Like you're going top 5 or at least, and the managers were so vocal and they're so open after the fact. Like, yo, some people just fell and that's how like just things pan out. But Kate taking Thomas Harper at 3, that rocked some people's worlds. You know what I mean? I don't want to point anybody out. But like that, it was just like, what the hell? And again, you're just minding your own business, and there you go. Thomas
Eat
Harper.
my wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, my entire first 3 rounds, I just ripped up my draft sheet. It was like I literally sat there and I was like, I don't know as much about this league as I think I do because I had this totally wrong. And then I was like relieved to see that most of the reactions were like that stuff sort of took a 90-degree left turn and didn't go the way people thought they would. I mean, I'll say it right now. Look, Dimolanta, I fully expected to go 1, 2, or 3. He has earned that reputation. He went into the free agency not with a particular pick in mind, but with a certain track record that is established, and most of all, he's got a title shot that I guarantee you he's going to be ready for. I don't know how that's going to end up, but it's going to be a knockdown, drag out fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes into sudden death in several rounds at that, sort of like a Collins Merle match. But I looked at a player like that and I was like, well, he's not only does he have the skill, the demonstrated skill in this league, but he's got those potential big points on the board. That's got to be tempting for a manager. But then again, this shows what I know.
And I think Sam kind of hinted at that when he drafted Marie, because he's even like, did you really think I was going to take a player who may play one match and if he loses is going to be stuck sitting for a while? No, I'm not dumb like that.
And I know there's some people that were taken off the board awfully later in the draft that some people thought they were going to be sooner. But, I mean, if my reaction didn't tell, I'm like, Marie's going to kick so much ass. Like, and it's not even going to be funny. Like, I thought you were what number was it, 15? Or around there in the teens? Like I'm like, that's too low. Like, how? Like, and I think like Zach and Bushkar were taken back to back, and it's like, oh, okay, but like, where the hell is Marie? Like, come on now. Like, this isn't funny anymore. Because like all of you guys are so highly talented. Plus, I mean, like just by talking to y'all, like y'all make quick fans of us. And I was just like, yo, I need these people to get drafted. And again, Thomas, I'm like, okay, like Thomas off the board, I don't gotta worry about him anymore. And we're just going down the list. I'm like, where the is Marie? And the fact that you go to the suspects now, and both of you guys are going into 2 drastically different situations. Like Marie, you're going into an established culture that has been set by this manager who's been a part of the Schmoedown for a little bit. He's a former tag team champion, former singles champion, and his top 3 locks are some of the best players we've ever seen in the Schmoedown, and Liz Shannon Miller and Ethan Irwin and Drew McWeeny. And if we flop over to the Den just imploded and somehow picked up what was good for them, and they had to restart essentially from scratch. And Thomas, you were the spearhead of this draft. So how's it been going into that? I know you guys probably been doing your Schmoedown homework, at least in the last few months, or last 2 months, really, since you guys found out you guys would be part of this. Like, how is that dynamic for you guys? Marie going into the established culture that is the suspects, and Thomas going into this new den that we haven't necessarily seen before.
Well, I'll say right now, so this season is war, and you're going to find me sort of leaning back on my military experience. And I'm going to tell other players right now that let me get the direction right. This girl right here, Marie, is what we call a tier 1 operator. And if you don't know what that is, look it up, because she's going to come into this war season, and I don't want to be her first matchup. Whatever other opponent, whether it's a rookie or a veteran, teams up against her, go watch John Wick if you want to know what your fate is going to be, because she's going to come in to operate. So in any event, I say that, and in terms of the team and the new den, I was really, really impressed and amazed by how surgical Kate was through the draft. The 2 of us, I'm very open about it, did not talk before the draft. I think her strategy there, she did her homework in other ways. Obviously, there's game tape that's out there very easily to find on the 3 of us DragonCon players. But I think the picks falling the way that they did, maybe she had some hint of whatever the Finstock had in store that maybe pushed her. But I watched her the rest of the draft. You didn't see the clock run down to 0. You didn't see her come in and fumble around or anything like that. She came in. She was a woman on a mission. She knew who she was picking. It was if you watched her, it was if she was reading from a list that was going exactly the way she had planned it, and didn't need to fall back on any contingency plans or anything like that. And I sat back and right there, I was like, the new Kate is coming to play. She is not messing around. Not that she did before, but this is sort of a new revamped team. And as I saw the pieces fall into place, I couldn't imagine a better group of people to work with. And I think the last few days after the draft has really reinforced that. We've come together, and pieces are in motion, and I'm just really excited and very fortunate to be a part of the team.
And Marie, you're on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, where you know who you're coming with. The 3 protected players they're already having a history with Sam Levine in some way, shape, or form, and now you were awfully early in the draft, although you fell a little bit lower than some people would have liked, but you still were awfully early, especially there were Star Wars players taken way later in the draft over the course of the night. Yeah. And that has to be the complete opposite feeling going into an established culture like this. And like how Thomas just mentioned, it's not just like picking up like whatever draft pieces, because Kate only had 2 going into this draft, or 2 protected players. But Sam, he was one of the more talked about factions going into the draft, and now here you are.
Yeah, I'm still learning, to be perfectly honest. I'm still learning a lot about the different players involved, about Sam. But he contacted us, and we're getting together tomorrow night, and I'm super stoked about that. And it was just such a uplifting message he sent us, like that he really believes in us, and so that felt really good, to know that your manager believes in you, to know that your manager knows that you can do what you say you're going to do. And I've already started talking to a couple of my faction mates, and that's been really fun. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I'm still learning, but I'm excited to be a part of a little group, a part of a family, and to learn them, and to see what it's like to work together, and how we mesh and everything. But the tweet that Rachel put out, like breaking down all the different people that are in The Usual Suspects, I thought that just blew me out of the water. I'm like, oh my goodness. That was so cool. Like, I think we have a really great team. I love that there's a lot of women, and I think that's gonna make us diverse and really strong.
My first message to Marie, apart from congratulations, was please get me Kevin Smith's autograph. Like, I'm not saying that like I would forfeit a match to Marie to get his autograph, but well, I might like fumble around on a question.
A couple weeks ago, he was selling them on his site.
I gave an entire presentation on for the Naval Academy on Clerks, and that bit about the Death Star, the destruction of the second Death Star being like murder of all these contractors. And like, if I could just get like 10 minutes of his time, be like, watch this. And then can I please have your autograph? Marie, if you could deliver that to me, I will be forever in your debt.
I completely forgot about that scene. I thought you were going to say something related to the number 37.
See, and maybe Marie can use her, because now her manager is out here, a movie star. He's been on TV a bunch, and maybe she can pull some strings. But I mean, we'll see. And if the second Thomas is done with his request, I will submit mine. We'll talk. So, I mean, holy shit! Like it's only been 3 days, and now y'all are in it after weeks of talking about it and pitching yourselves to managers, and both being awfully successful in the process. Damn, just did you wake up this morning like, whoop? Oh, what's going on, Craig? What's going on, Barbarian? No hard feelings here. So, yeah, and she can still use her movie star manager to get over the Kevin Smith ASG. It's okay, but like, how was it waking up this morning on a Monday, like a regular old Monday?
Yeah,
and you're like, damn, I gotta study. I gotta study for this thing I'm doing now. because after weeks of talking about it, I'm actually doing it now.
Well, for me, I actually ended up not having to go into work today. It was kind of a last minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied all day.
Yes, that's what we
There you
like to
go.
hear. That's what we like to hear.
I was in it. I was loving it. It was great. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So I was eating up the Star Wars, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely am excited about doing this.
I'm not going to ask which ones, but how many did you get through today?
2.5.
That's it? You had all day.
That's
Oh,
it, man. It's
I
Monday, for the
spent
love of God.
I spent 4 hours on each one.
Uh-oh, yep, Tom's frozen this.
Look. So we're already dissecting movies that we've seen
Yep.
1,000 times.
Yep.
Like now you're in it. The Schmoedown's already like it's invading your veins, but it's just the movies though. Just
Yeah.
the movies.
Yeah.
Okay. So and we already talked about this on the show, but you guys have to really
There we go. We got him
dissect
back.
all the movies. There you go, Thomas. But now that you're back, again, how was it waking up on this Monday? Like, damn, gotta do my usual Monday stuff, and I also may have to talk about some Schmoedown things now that we're out here getting involved.
Right.
Yeah, my experience has been I approach Dragon Con like I imagine a boxer does to a fight, right? You get into fighting shape. You know, I would wager a guess that a guy like Mayweather or Tyson is never really fully out of fighting shape. And that's the three of us, because it's just the nature of that competition requires year-round prep. If you wait until the summertime to start, you're going to be so far behind the power curve that you probably won't even qualify for the finals, to be perfectly honest. So I woke up today with sort of, and this was the case Sunday as well, and Saturday, with sort of this renewed sense of purpose. Like I've got my team. You know, I figured I would land somewhere, whether it was in the league or in the FCL. But you know, now it's work. You got to prove. I mean, it's all great to have fun during the draft and celebrate and look at all the breakdowns and get pats on the back. That doesn't much mean anything if you go out in your first match and get KO'd and look like a fool and make your manager look like a fool for picking you. So it's down to business for me, and it's a matter of getting into that full fighting shape, no matter who I'm playing. Because I like my mentality toward this, and I could probably speak for Marie in terms of like how we both approach Dragon Con. I don't prep for that competition with an eye towards competition or like the competitors. Like I don't go in saying like, what are Marie's weak points that I think she might know, or what are Alex's weak points? The competition itself is my competitor. Like I'm against the question writer or writers as much as I am against the person on the other side. And at the end of the day, except for I guess, you know, the at least in a normal match, round 2, where you can potentially steal, and a little bit in round 1 where you're answering the same questions. To me, it's irrelevant, like what the other person is bringing in. Like I have a general idea, and I will come in with a strategy built around, to a certain extent, who I'm playing, so that I can take that into my questions. But the focus of my prep is the same as it's always been. It's going to be brute force knowledge, and that just is what it is.
Yeah.
I respect that. Well, guys, we love having you on. We want to get you back on when your matches get going, but we got to let you go. It is that time. We got a couple more guests today, and then he and I still got to go over all the teams.
We got a show to do. I mean,
we got a whole show to do.
That pesky show.
But thank you for coming on.
Before we let you guys go, plug anything and everything. Like, what do y'all have going on? We've done this before. Let's do it again.
And let's
start with Marie, and we'll go and rock. Let's do it.
Okay. And real quick, I do want to say I did go back and watch when I got drafted, and I was able to clip it, and so I have watched it several times, and it makes me very happy.
Awesome.
So I am on Twitter at Alia Morgaine. And you can find my Star Wars review blog, where I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the StarWarsReview.blogspot.com. And you can find me on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central talking about Star Wars comics on Beyond the Blast Doors Live. And then once a month, I am on the Tumbling Saber podcast, which is currently on a hiatus, but there are multiple episodes where I talk about Star Wars books and comics, and it's a lot of fun. And then finally, I have my queer Star Wars YouTube channel called Afra's Artifacts, where I talk about all the variety of queer characters and species in Star Wars, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Marie. By the way, I love the Celebration t-shirt. That was a fun store to shop at this year.
Yes.
All right, Thomas?
Yeah, you can find me. My Twitter handle is right down there at Thomas L. Harper, which is the height of creativity. I have, if you want to hear me talk Star Wars on a regular basis, just like pure canon, like deep diving stuff, I'm on the Random Chatter Podcast Network on a show called Force Chatter. Spelled exactly like it sounds. There's 4 of us on the show, and we just have fun with whatever the news of the day is. And so there's a news element and then a deep dive discussion part of it as well. Those episodes are weekly. And then I'm also a writer and a podcaster for the Legal Geeks. That's sort of how I got into this sphere. And if you've ever wondered, like, who is the lawful owner of the Millennium Falcon, would Kylo Ren be legally entitled to inherit anything from Han after murdering him? Those sort of like questions that I'm sure are on all of our minds as we watch Star Wars. That's the sort of stuff that I break down for the Legal Geeks.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you both, as always, for coming on. You're always welcome on here. We have ways to show up. Thomas, I still just want to talk Star Wars with you. So
I know. Yeah.
we like bugging you guys. Like the second we get you in, it's hard for Spin for the Real to let go. So thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you all so much.
And good luck. Good luck in the
Thanks.
season.
Thank you.
Take care. See you.
Y'all rock. Love them.
All right, and now we are on to our final 2 guests of the night.
Damn right.
One, we never got the chance to talk to before the draft, and I'm really excited to get to talk to her. So we don't really have an exciting draft reaction. And the other, everyone knows him. He's just this guy named the Rager. So, but Chris, do the honors, sir.
Yes. So as you mentioned, this first guest, we haven't had on the show before, and I don't know about you, but like her name made waves hours, days before the draft even happened.
Days before. She made a late push, and that's why I was really excited to get her on.
And she called out a certain boss that we're all familiar with, and everyone was like, "What the hell? Like, you can't just do that." And our other guests also happened to do that on different mediums. But another suspect, because we're super suspect today on Spin for the Real.
Well, you just want to get dropped.
Paige Frabetti, what's going on? Yo, hi.
I think you're muted.
Are you muted, Paige?
Awkward. I'm
There we
unmuted.
go.
Thanks, guys, so much.
Hi, what's going on?
Nice to meet you guys, and thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Nice to meet
Anytime.
you too. But we're not alone, because on this show, he's no stranger to us. Paige, you might have heard this man. He is now part of the Finstock Exchange, and he is no stranger to Who Are They Real Entertainment. Everyone, please welcome the Rager, Rick Raddus. Rager, yeah.
Rager in. Just some guy called the Rager. Okay, Thomas, I grant you the privilege of the first post-draft interview with Ricky Raddus right here, and he's just some guy. All right, I'll keep that in mind next time. I'll keep that in mind. Paige,
Couldn't sense the sarcasm in there?
Nice to meet you too, man.
No sarcasm, all authenticity right here on Spin from the Real. How you boys doing?
Doing all right.
I'm doing great.
You mentioned first post-draft. Isn't this your last one also?
We'll see. You know, here's the thing. I went out there and I made the rounds and I shot my shot. You know what I mean? And I appealed to people because I didn't know where I was going to go. But the draft is over. Raiders in the Schmoedown.
Damn right.
I don't need to appeal to anybody anymore. I'm a card-carrying member of the Finstock Exchange. So, you know, the last one, we'll see. But as far as, you know, consolidating my time, I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to study. I'm going to get ready for that first match. That's priority number 1.
And that's a great way to start, right? So both you guys, these new rooks, we have another rookie-centric show. And Paige, we're going to start with you because this is our first time meeting again.
Right.
Coming on the program.
Yeah.
But in the days leading up to the draft, how was, like, how are you feeling? Because that article that you did with RTQ got people talking about you, and it's one hell of a splash. And trust me, there are other people on the screen who know how to make an entrance when they have to. But for you, you came out of nowhere, and at least to us. So how was the anticipation going into the draft, and were you confident at all with your with you getting picked up somehow, some way?
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, I was super excited for the draft. I had no idea where I was going to be picked at all. I mean, first to last, I was just grateful to get picked up. And then when Sam said my name, I was in utter shock. I was just like, holy shit, this is for real right now. It's been pretty wild because, like, I've just been a huge fan of the Schmoedown since, like, 2015. I mean, I've been following this guys since, like, the AMC days. So it's just, like, crazy to actually kind of, like, live a dream in a sense that, like, this is real life now, and I get this like sick ass opportunity to meet some of like my idols that like I've been watching along with so long. It's just a great community, and it's just awesome to be in there. And I mean, you gotta call out those big boys. That's how you get your name out there. So I'm going in there headstrong, man. I'm trying to show them. That's the best part is to know, like film on me at all. No one knows what to expect from me. So I'm kind of an underdog right now, but you guys are gonna see what comes along and. Get ready, guys.
That's kind of the best part. It's the mystery of it all, because similar to someone on your screen, there is no film on you. I wonder what happened to that film on him.
Banned. Too hot for television.
But the mysteries were like the most fun part about this, because I mean, there were mysteries all throughout the draft. There are people in the third and fourth round where people are like, wait, who? But to just get your name out there, it's a shame. Craig Gagne, the barbarian himself. It's a shame we weren't able to draft Paige too and have a team of Rage Paige.
Ooh, that's a good name.
That would have been a sick, pretty. Yeah, I would like that.
That's a good name.
Well, I guess we're just gonna go head to head though. And then
I know you could go. That's exactly where I was about to go. You guys could end up going head to head. You are rookies on different factions. We don't.
That's just it. Rage V Paige. Dawn of Age.
Rampage and then Rage. There we go.
One will fall.
I mean, we hope that both y'all have more than one match. I don't want anyone to fall now before we get anything too crazy started. But speaking of falling, like both of y'all, like you were, like, oh my god, how was it getting drafted? Like I know Paige, you touched on it a little bit, but like Paige, you said like Sam Levine said your name, and Rick Raddus, you were uttered triple R, I believe that's how Finn stopped.
Yep, triple R.
And
triple R, baby.
How was that night for you? Because obviously we all approached it differently. Our other four guests tonight, they all approached it differently. Some got the reactions on camera. Some people weren't even in the room when they got drafted.
I will say I saw Paige's reaction, and it is the most wholesome, just fun reaction, because she's like, "Oh my god!" and jumped.
They were buck wild. Like my sister and my aunt Lee got confetti. They were like, just in case. I was like, well, don't do anything, because if I don't get picked, I'm just gonna be like a sore loser right now. So literally, when he said my name, I was just like, "This is real life. Holy shit!" Like I feel like Tom Brady right now. Like he went 6th round, I went 7th round. I'm like, dude, and now he's one of the greatest of all time. So let's get ready, guys.
I like that. I like that spot.
And I'm from
Boston, that attitude.
So.
We need more of that. Oh,
dude. There you go. Hell yeah, good on you. And Mr. Raddus, how is it for you getting drafted? Because I know some of us reacted a little bit differently. We actually got to watch the draft with your advocate, Taylor Cleek. So
I do have that reaction though? If you want me to play it.
Go for it. Roll the footage. Roll the footy.
I'm Rocket Ship Gucci. You know, it's really interesting stuff going on here, and watching these people pick these people. I gotta believe that nobody had a 350-page dossier like I did. You know, this is just, I can't believe this guy fell to me this way. This guy's one of the most exciting people in the draft, and knowledgeable. You gotta understand what we did here. We quizzed all these people. Nobody else did their homework. These people are picking has-been losers. Give me a break. We're going with triple R. Rick the Rage.
I always knew you were a fan, Chris Anthony Lopez. I knew you were a rager, Mark. That's okay. Don't be ashamed. Big pop. I like the way that sounds. Big pop. Like that. I did something similar on my end. Look, I watched the draft like I watch most things. Deep in the tub, rub-a-bub. All right. I was getting warm. I was getting cozy. All right. And I'll be honest. I stood straight up. I made a big mess. Water went everywhere. I had to put down a lot of towels, but I'm not ashamed. I had a primal war. Straight to the heavens. I was excited. I love it. As soon as I heard that triple R, I never even thought of that before. Triple R, the alliteration there. It's like rolling your tongue. That's it. My name is just like, I love it. I never thought of that. And that's the thing. Bobby Gucci is one of a kind manager, right? Thinks outside of the box, sees things other people don't see. And that's exactly what he did all night. That's what he did all night in the draft. Pulled these rookies, some of which we didn't even know, right? He said something like the Moose, right? The Moose. People were like, who's the Moose? Even I was taken aback, right? Somebody like Jeffrey Kahn, King Khan, right? Found these guys. Here's the thing. Gucci did his research. Barbarian did his research. And he found the real talent, okay? Sifted through all the noise and found the people that counted, found the people that were going to get points, get wins, and work as a unit. We're talking about the dossier, the 1,500-page dossier.
1,500?
Here's the thing. You would think the dossier would stop growing after the draft, right? Just throw it in the trash, move on. Still growing, still doing our research. That's the kind of manager Bobby Gucci is. And that's what the kind of scout the Barbarian is. Guess who the first person, as soon as they said Ricky Rage was going to be in the draft, guess the first person within minutes was on the other end of my phone? Barbarian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And where did I go? Finstock Exchange. They knew they wanted me immediately. And the same goes for all the other rookies on the exchange. We've got a cohesive unit. This is war. We got hell of a soldiers. You just wait and see. We got a lot of surprises for the Schmoedown this year. Just you wait and see.
Fair enough. Now, Paige, I know Marie just mentioned you guys are already just starting to mesh as a team. How's that going for you?
Oh, it's freaking awesome, dude. Like, I've been reaching out to most of them, so it's awesome. And I mean, I'm a huge Sam Levine fan. Like, Freaks and Geeks and Glorious Bastards.
Yes.
Like, I have this man's email address now. Like, what? Like, this shit is just crazy. Like, I mean, and like, all right, so Sam Levine's former team and single champion. My advisee is Rachel Cushing. Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf were my favorite players of all time. And then I got Ethan Irwin, and I got Queenie, I got Stacey Howard, and I got these amazing rookies. We're the suspects for the reason. People are sleeping on us right now. They have no idea what's coming for them. So you guys are just going to have to wait and see what goes down.
This is the attitude I love to see out of players, especially these rookies, because they're coming in, they're hungry, and they're down. That's what you want to see. That is what you want to see.
I mean, I can't help but respect, as Matt introduced me at the top of the broadcast, the personality of the channel, although he's being a little too kind right now. I love seeing these different characters or these different approaches to the Schmoedown. Because obviously, if you boil it down, it's movie trivia, and you got to nail your questions. You got to get them right. Got to get your points. Got to get your wins, as Rick Raddus just said. But y'all are both bringing this different type of fire to it. Paige, you're coming in as a fan, and you're so stoked to be here. And you were not the last round, but the last televised round, and you hear your name picked up by Sam Levine, like holy shit! And you're going into this established faction, not only headed by Sam Levine. You have your Ethan Irwin, you have your LSM, you have your Drew McWeeny, who's back now, and Amaru, we just had him on the show earlier. Like he was the second pick overall, and he's a rookie, just like y'all. So you're already going into this culture.
Dude.
How is that for you? Have you processed that yet? Like, holy shit! Like, this is what I'm doing now in my life.
Dude, I'm still on cloud 9. Not gonna lie to you guys. Like, I'm just so amped. Like, we're all gonna eat each other tomorrow night, like officially, which is awesome. Me and Amaru and Frankie are gonna do a study session on Wednesday. Like, we're trying to go in right now. Like, this is where the real work gets put in. We made it now into the Schmoedown. So now we just gotta prove ourselves. And I'm going in there, balls to the wall, blazing.
And Rick, and for you, like you were, obviously Bobby Gucci has you highly touted on his board, and he was surprised that he was so comfortable picking you where he picked you, because like every other manager either opted not to go with the Rager or they were waiting as well, just like Bobby Gucci, to where they could wait to see if they could pick you up a little bit later. So what was your thought process now? Like, I'm with Gucci, I'm with the Finstock Exchange, and unlike Paige, with an established culture and like all her top three were already working with Sam. Like, yeah, Finstock had three already, in JTE, Barbarian, who may or may not be in the chat, and John Roca. The rest of the team is filled with rookies. So what was your thought process on like how you have a top three with the established vets, and then the rest, legitimately the rest of your team, sans Taylor Robinson, are rookies?
Sure. Look, first of all, let's not undersell the pros we've got at the top who are leading the charge here. Let's not undersell who that is. We're talking about Bobby Gucci. And again, I said it before, Finstock Exchange, Hall of the Goats. Anybody who's had the privilege of being in the Rushmore conversation has been managed by Bobby Gucci, and that's not a coincidence. We got the outlaw John Roca. What else needs to be said, right? What else needs to even be said there? Okay, we've got Barbarian, the man who saw everybody in the draft and found the talent, found the best of the best. And of course, we got JTE. Man's got a rule named after him. How many people could say that? Okay, so we've got an established high class at the top to guide the way. Here's what you got to understand. Gucci and Barbarian saw everybody in this draft. They did their homework, okay? They did their research. They built up that dossier, which I believe, let me make sure, 1,700-page dossier, okay?
It grew 200 pages in the last 5 minutes.
We work quick over here in the exchange. We work quick, all right? Fast fingers over here in the exchange, right? You know, it's funny. People are already doubting the exchange because they see all the rookies and they think it's some kind of gimmick, right? They think it's some sort of cheap play. I see people saying we're moneyballing it, right? We're moneyballing it, or whatever that means. It's not a gimmick, okay? This is a hard strategy. We've got a target on our backs. This was true before the draft. It's true now. People want to see the exchange fail. They want to see us lose. They're upset about it. They want to be in the exchange. They want to see the exchange fail. They're upset how the last season went. I get it. Target on our back right from the start. Just like me, just like Ricky Rage. Ever since I got in this draft, I go on the after shows, right? I put on a show. I'm nice. I make friends. And I'm not seeing people giving me love in their tweets. All right? Love in the chat. And that's okay. I don't need it. That's the thing. I belong in the exchange for that very reason, because we're hungry and we're survivors. And we're going to fight our way through this war. We're going to fight our way across the battlefield. And it might be no man's land. We don't care. We're going to make it, and we're going to make it as a unit. We're going to make it together. We build up together. We get there together. We're going to train together. And we've got the best of the best leading it. We got the best mentors, the best tutors to get us there. I couldn't be in a better team. Couldn't be in a better faction. And let me also tell you, it's funny. I keep getting other managers coming to me, and they're saying, "Oh man, such a shame Gucci picked you up when he did, because I was going to get you in the next one." Well, you didn't, because you didn't have the vision of the Finstock Exchange. And that's why they're going to fail this season.
Wow. Paige, you're a rebuttal to that.
Big words. Big words, man. Big words. I mean, hey, we'll see it on the battlefield. That's why it's a war, baby.
Absolutely. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a war. And I'm looking forward to it.
For a reason.
And the both of y'all had this common tie by the name of Ben Bateman, right? And for Paige, it's more so like you got a gun for the top, like you mentioned. Like, you got to go after the big man, got to go after the boss. And for you, Rager, you're on a faction now that is being gunned at by multiple different folks, including Ben Bateman. So, how on your respective factions? I mean, y'all are coming in these super green rookies, and we're already looking towards the top. Like, is this something that you like? Are you almost like, damn, like, why'd I say that? Are you regretting the things that you've done now as you're in it? Or is this like fuel to your fire? Are you waiting for folks like Bateman? Are you waiting for folks like Dan? You waiting, in Rager's case, for the suspects and vice versa? From the suspects, you're looking for the Finstock Exchange. How are we looking at this? How are we approaching season 8?
Start off the page.
Dude, I'm amped up, man. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I want to be able to build my status as the best player possible and best faction teammate as possible. to get my opportunity to play Ben Maitman and to show him what's up. So time will tell, guys. I mean, I'm just looking for my biggest thing this year is to get points for my faction. I'm taking it game by game. So trivia match by trivia match.
Hell yeah.
How about you,
Rager?
Rager?
Look, here's the thing. I didn't start firing shots pre-draft because I thought, oh, I'm never gonna make it and not have to back it up. You know, some people did that. Okay. And I'm past the point of naming names to other rookies. I'm past that. Okay. We're in the draft. But some people got a little too cocky and now they don't have to back it up. And they're lucky in that respect. Look, I'm similar to Paige. I'm thinking about opponent number 1. I don't know who that is, but I'm thinking about opponent number 1. That's who I'm going to be ready for. And I'm going to be ready for the next one. And I'm going to be ready for the next one and the next one. I don't care what their name is. Okay. I don't care what their record is. I don't care which faction they're on. It's one match at a time, eyes pointed ahead, full steam ahead, charging through, spearhead. Okay. We're going to do a temporal pincer movement right across the battlefield, baby. All right.
Someone's
backwards and forwards 2 times. And it doesn't matter who the first opponent is. And it doesn't matter if they're the GOAT, okay? It doesn't matter if they're GOAT number 2. It doesn't matter to me, all right? I'm excited to back it up. I put on the show, right? I had a little bit of fun. Now it's time to put up the results. And that's what I'm prepared to do. That's what I'm getting ready to do right now.
Whew, shots fired.
Rager coming in hot. Rager coming in hot. As Craig in the chat, the dossier has very strong comments on both Paige and Amaru. And Amaru understood that reference.
Yeah, someone's been studying the new releases. You got to give them that. You got to give them that respect.
So the both of y'all are coming in with this new energy.
It's
and
fire.
This fire. Y'all coming in like a ball of fire. And I cannot help but respect it and love that coming into the both of y'all. But now we're in it. And both of you guys are entering single/teams in your own respects, in your own factions. And unlike a Star Wars that we already had with Thomas and Marie, or an Inner Geekdom like we have with Amaru or Jesse at the top of the show, like it's awfully broad. It's a big division because it's not the niche things like Star Wars or everything else that's geeky and Inner Geekdom standards. So how has see, there you go. Hell yeah, kick-ass tattoo. How has it been for you guys to mentally prepare yourself for having to jump into this already established 8 seasons deep Schmoedown that it ain't your mama's Schmoedown. It ain't season 1, ain't season 2. And as Paige mentioned, she's been watching since 2015. That was 6 years ago. Like the game has changed so much between now and then. So not only as fans, but as spectators, as people who've been trying to study up their game as much as they can, how are y'all viewing singles and teams going into season 8?
I mean, me personally, I mean, we'll see like who I get teamed up with on my faction, but I mean, I have the rookies and the vets included. Like, our team is dominant right now. I mean, I think it would be smart if we did like a vet with a rookie. Like, I'd be honored to be partnered with like Ethan Irwin or like Liz or like Stacey Howard. Man, would be the dominant Hale team right there. Like, but I mean, honestly, it's all to be well-rounded. Like, I came into this knowing that, like, I'm brushing up. Like, my biggest thing right now is to brush up on my strengths and to make sure that my weaknesses aren't my weaknesses anymore.
And yourself, Rager?
That was well said, and it's true. Look, some people could be intimidated by the fact that singles and teams is so broad. Could be anything, right? Could be absolutely anything. But I actually feel empowered by it because here's the thing. That means the Rager's been training his whole life. He didn't even realize it, right? Rager's been training before there even was a Schmoedown. Every time I've watched a movie across my entire storied lifespan, deep down, didn't realize at the time, I was training for the Schmoedown. So I've been training my whole life for this, all right? And sure, it must be nice and comforting to get a list and say, hey, these are all the movies you got to watch. I don't have that luxury. That means I got to try even harder. And that's exactly what I'm prepared to do. And as far as teams goes, look, again, you're asking me how I felt being on the exchange. I've got one hell of a list of people to be teamed up with. Again, people don't know. They're underestimating. They don't know what these rookies got in store. They don't know what Ricky Rage has got for them. I mean, we got Gold Leader, all right? Look out, Star Wars. Look out, Star Wars. We got Griffin Newman, who, quite frankly, I think is going to just slaughter everybody in his path. People should be scared of Griffin Newman. He's not messing around, okay? We got the Moose. Are you kidding me? Wait till you see what the Moose can do. I've got so many people that I could pair with, and it'd be one hell of a team. So I feel very lucky and very blessed to be amongst the ranks coming up in this season.
And I'm pretty sure I can speak for Matt in saying that we are both eager to watch you guys compete.
Very eager.
And I know the season doesn't start for another couple weeks, and it starts with Inner Geekdom and Star Wars 2 divisions, who will get a lot of love, especially with no teams for now going forward in the Schmoedown into season 8. But before we let you guys go and we continue the rest of our show, because we still have a show to do, I guess. Please, we want you guys to plug your socials if you have any other projects you got going on. This is your time to shine. We'll start with Paige.
Yep, ladies first.
We'll do it.
Let me drop this.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. But yeah, you can check me out on Instagram from Paige News 9. It's right down there. And I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Feature Flicks. No C. So Flicks is just with the K. So guys, definitely check out. We post movie news, reviews, top 10 lists. We run tournaments. Like, you want to have a good time, follow my movie page, guys, and check me out.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Paige. And Rick Raddus, baby.
Rick Raddus. Look, you guys know the score. I don't keep the social media personally too much. I just find it a little too toxic. Plus, I don't have the time. I got to study and polish off this Fabergé egg that Bobby Gucci sent me in the mail as a congratulatory gift. But if you do want to keep in touch with the Ragent, the guy who fields my phone calls, sends DMs, those things, Taylor L. Cleek on Twitter. There it is, right there, right next to Triple R, right there. Taylor L. Cleek on Twitter. And oh my God, it's so embarrassing that he makes me do this, but he gets mad if I don't mention. He's the host of a horror movie podcast called Really Scared. They stream live on this channel. If you're watching this show on this channel, a little biased there, I guess. But if you're watching this channel, tune in every Thursday night, 8 p.m. live to Really Scared. Coming up, they got the favorite ghoul, Jessica, returning to talk about James Wan's Conjuring, the first one. So that's going to be a great episode. And if you want to see Ricky rage, watch this thing called the Schmoedown, because you can make big waves over there, baby.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming on. Meant a lot. It was nice getting to know you, Paige. I am sure we will be in touch. And
thank you, guys.
Rick, it's always nice having you on, Rick, even though I'm starting to get tired of your face.
The pleasure is yours. It was nice to meet you, Paige. Good luck coming up in this season.
Good luck
to you.
Rule.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
Rager out.
Yeah, I don't know where to put these. Oh, geez. Okay. I caught all the kids and I don't know where to put them. I'm gonna so
and now we got an actual show to do. Wow.
Yeah, now we have an actual show to do. Granted, we're not gonna go for too long.
Yeah, not too much longer.
It's a Monday night, and I mean, not free agency. The draft happened. We just got to talk about the draft. Leo Logan, what's going on, Leo? Who are you guys surprised didn't get drafted? My top 3 are James Baney, Brett Sheridan, and Warfather.
Mine are Brett Warfather and
Jesus, who didn't get drafted?
But David Campbell, Brett Warfather, and David Campbell. Those are my 3.
Who am I surprised didn't get drafted? Oh God, that's a toughie. Not seeing like a vet like Matchety get some. I don't know if Matt Matchety got confirmed or not for this season. Probably not. It's probably why he wasn't picked up, if I'm being honest. Warfather again. He's had a rocky road in the Schmoedown, so the fact that someone didn't take a chance on him, a friend of the show, David Campbell, it's hard not to say David Campbell because we love David Campbell over here at Spin from the Reel. Great guy, and hopefully, honestly, it's not even right there with Craig. But the best part about as messed up as it might sound, that these folks didn't get drafted. The first class league, which we got our official confirmation of this past Friday, is a thing, and Brad Gilmore's over here heading it up, and it's going to be our development league of the folks that didn't get drafted and maybe some other folks sprinkled in. So hell yeah,
we
all in.
will be covering here. Let's make that clear right now. We will be covering first class league here on this channel.
Do we have any details? No.
The most details we have is we're looking at a late March, early April start.
And there's gonna be no factions. It'll just be competitors, just willy-nilly, just competing against each other, which honestly is the best way to do something like that. I don't need 8 factions to do on the main roster.
Thank you to Barbarian in the chat.
Thank you, because I mean Matt actually, great player when he's not challenging his own win. So I mean the first class league. I'm glad there's no factions. We know little to nothing about this thing, but I'm eager because a lot of the folks, Sonny and Kat, more friends of the show, like they didn't get picked up, and I had been campaigning for the 3 of them to get picked up. These 3 rooks that are fantastic.
Yes, Corey Cameron streaming on Twitch as well. It's going to be Twitch exclusive. Christian teased on his stereo today that he wants to like do character shows on there to try to build that up itself. I love it.
And one more name I want to throw out there before we keep talking about first class. Nauthet Milian. We talked to him. We'll release that soon. He's not someone who was on the draft list, but he was someone that caught my eye on the Facebook page. And I think the first class league will do wonders to folks like that who didn't necessarily get their shine in the draft listing initially, but that they made such an impression on folks like myself, like whoever, and they'll have the opportunity to still compete in some type of movie trivia format. So first class league, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really cool. And I am so stoked to see the future of the Schmoedown, because now I remember when I said season 7 was going to be like, it's the most important season of the Schmoedown ever. I said that, and now here I am.
It's going to be the most important season of the Schmoedown.
Season 8 is going to be the most important season ever. I think the fact that the Schmoedown just keeps growing and growing and growing and adapting to its environment. Like it's not just folks at Collider answering movie trivia questions anymore. Like that ain't it. Now it's larger. Now we have these factions. We're competing for money at the end, which is like what? And oh my God, the league has grown so much, and this development portion of it will create so many new stars and let people shake off the cobwebs or really get to flex their muscles, just not on the main show. It'll be the NXT for all my wrestling fans out there. It'll be the NXT for the Schmoedown, and I'm eager to see how that pans out once we get more details, and we'll talk about that more on the show when we do get those more details.
Yeah.
But Matt, man, how'd you feel about the draft? I don't think we talked about the draft overall.
We did on our stereo conversation because we're both on stereo
directly afterwards. But since then, we barely talked the draft because we've had other things come up, like moving the show to Mondays,
and work
and life and all these
personal stuff, and
totally.
But
what are your thoughts on the draft overall?
It was great. I loved it. I really dug it. I felt like, honestly, we got some really balanced teams in here. I forget the exact Twitter. I just remember, I think it was JP Graphics made these awesome graphics that I pulled up right here. Here are your stars: Jeff Snyder, Mark Andrico, Alex Damon, Brandon Hanna, Zach Burkett, friend of the show. Would have been here tonight, but he is seeing a preview screening of Juice and the Black Messiah, so I couldn't blame him. Janine the Machine, Jacoby Bancroft, Felix Morit, Jack Kennedy, Jeff of Elisalo, and Brittany Young. Then you had Drew McQueenie with the usual suspects: Drew McQueenie, Liz Shannon Miller, Ethan Irwin, Amaru. Thank you for coming on again today, sir. Marie, thank you for coming on again. Stacey Howard, Jacob Whitman, Paul Walter Hauser, which that one kind of shocked me a little bit. Frankie Alvarez, Paige was just on the show. You saw her. Great personality. Nikki DiMolanta and Doug Benson. So let's start off with those two.
So, okay. I know there's been a lot of talk, especially with some folks on the Roxy's faction. I don't think, I mean, that's its own thing. And it's what a way to start season 8 already right off the bat. But with how these two teams look, just to focus on the stars for right now. Holy shit. I don't want to be biased, but best draft of the evening? Yeah, so I'm in the camp that I think they're, at least out of like a mixture of proven commodities like vets and rooks, Roxy had one of the better drafts. And I'm not even trying to show any bias. Folks that know this show know that I love corruption, and we'll get to corruption in a little bit. But to me, the Rockstars, they were in the best position going into it. They had all 4 divisions covered, with Snyder and Andrico heading up teams in singles, and Alex Damon with Star Wars and Inner Geekdom. Although Alex may not be the best Inner Geekdom player ever, he can definitely work towards that. And Roxy got to do whatever she wanted. She didn't have to focus on a certain division, on a certain type of player, because she already had all of it in her top 3. So going into her draft, it was pretty interesting to see how it panned out. I want to pull it up one more time because it's pretty dope, right? So you have Snyder and Draco Damon. Great. Hannah to start off the draft. Sweet. I thought Hannah would be one of the first 3 picks taken. Obviously, I'm wrong because I don't know what I'm talking about. Zach Burkett, friend of the show. Hell yeah. Janine the Machine. Like, I've been high on Janine. Part of me had Janine going in the top 24, and just filling out the rest of her team with these newer or fresher faces in the Schmoedown, whether we've seen them in the show or not. Like, they are, like, it's impressive nonetheless, and it's hard for me to not at least show love to Roxy. Although Leo Logan in the chat said my pair ups for the suspects are Ethan, Drew, Liz, Stacy. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I think it's kind of been made known that it's going to be Liz and Ethan.
I'm under the impression of it being Liz and Ethan, but I'll get to that in a second. But the stars, of course,
Craig, we'll get there. We'll get there,
with
Craig.
the exception of the Fin Stock Exchange, I do think that the stars had one of the better drafts personally. And Roxy, we saw what she did in season 7 with the Odd Couple and her success in the variety of tournaments that they were a part of. But holy shit, you're coming in with 2 belts off the bat. Teams in Star Wars. Teams may not be played, but they're belts nonetheless. So the stars, right. You got to keep your eye on the stars. But the suspects, though, now, like, we're talking. And you get that top 3. Drew McWeeney's back. Liz Shannon Miller and Ethan Irwin. Holy hell. What a 3 to start with in singles and teams. And then, like, you draft Amaru at the 2 spot. I mean, you saw my reaction to that. I was baffled.
Wait, hold on. We still have it up.
And what do I want? Do I want someone who's going to play a match, win it or lose it, and then be benched?
He usually plays like a
waiting
geeky
for someone
guy
else? No.
in movies.
I want Ken Griffey Jr. I want Chris Bryant. And I want Amaru Moses.
Whoa! And I guarantee that one clip, which I'm still not. that was the thing that we did that night. So Amaru going first, and he's Inner Geekdom primarily. And then he alluded to doing some teams and singles if he has the opportunity to do so. But the rest of the team for the suspects, like, it fills up pretty nicely. Whether you get like a Marie E. Wilson, we just had her on the show, and I think she's the most slept on Star Wars player somehow.
Yes. I agree.
Somehow.
We love Evan Bushgar, we love Thomas Harper, we love Zach Burkett, but she was definitely slept on.
Yeah, and I don't understand, like, and maybe I get it, that's how the chips fall, but how am I being disrespectful? Well, how did I say something disrespectful? I'm sorry. Is it my reactions? Thanks, Leo. But you get Stacey Howard, right? Stacey Howard. I just don't understand. Like, I thought you could have gotten Stacey a little bit later, unless she plans on playing the whole season. Then of course I don't know what I'm talking about. As our boy Jesse Swift says, Jacob Whitney Ben, depending on who you ask. Whitney Ben, I saw your video getting reacted to your draft. It's incredible. But your shade towards Jesse was the highlight of it by far. Absolutely love the little feud they got going on. Oh, I can mention Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, that was the shock to me because we both sat there like, is Sam just picking his friends now? That's what we both said.
Does Sam know PWH? Granted, like, okay, like if that's how you're gonna rock, that's how you're gonna rock. Frankie Alvarez got a lot of love before the draft too. Same thing for Paige and Nikki DeMolanta. Talk about slept on. Nikki DeMolanta might be slept on going into season 8, and then Doug Benson.
Agreed.
Going into season 8, didn't play last year, but Doug Benson's on the faction.
Hold up, 14 minutes ago, Christian Harloff in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook page, 5 p.m. PST confirmation time for the season opener of Chandru versus Mara and Kelly versus Damon.
What day?
February 19th.
Oh, what is that? Is that a Friday?
Yes, that's a Friday.
Oh shit! GD. Okay, I'll figure it out. Feature Flakes. Oh, what's going on, Paige? You're so sweet. Thank you so much. And again, friend of the show. We're looking forward to what you got going on. And anytime you want to come back on, Jess, you're funny as hell. But no, the suspects. I think when we talked about it on stereo. By the way, follow us on stereo. We probably should put that.
I will put our stereos in a banner real quick.
But how I described the suspects that they started off super hot, and then it's just like they cooled off towards like the end of the draft. But at the same time, like they
right. Sorry about that. That was me turning on stereo. Sorry about that.
I thought that
was I hate how automatically puts you on a show like right away. Right? And it's like I don't want that now.
If I want to listen to it, I'll listen to it later. But the suspects, like the more that I think about the suspects, especially after our initial thoughts on Friday, I'm like, yo, like they may be like that might be a pretty solid team. Especially I like the nice mixture of vets and rookies. That top three, you can't diss that top three. But holy shit, what a great two teams to start, really, because these next six are absolutely wild.
And we'll get to those right now.
Let's do it.
The Den with Paul Preston, Ben Goddard, Thomas Harper, Alonzo Duralde, Saul, Mark Riley, Peggy Gubbins, Jader Paramo, Lacey Gillerin, David Del Rio, steal of the draft, Jess Loops, I've heard it's pronounced so many ways, I don't want to mispronounce it, honestly, and Rachel Silvestrini, who shot.
Yeah, you can't say that name on here without you getting hot.
No, I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna do something you never thought I'd do. She deserved to be higher.
Yeah. The fact that Rachel fell so low to me, she was last round. That was the last pick.
Right, she didn't deserve to be last round.
Yeah, she was last pick for the Den, and I'm like, damn. But you have the pride back together. Question is, do you put the pride back together? And maybe that's something that they'll have to chat about over the next coming weeks before the season starts. But again, I don't want to hear anybody say any type of shit about, oh, like Shannon and Kate, that trade was bad. No, it wasn't. Like Shannon got what she wanted in Marisol McKee, and look what the hell Kate just did. Look at that. Like, we're heels, damn it. So, ASG in the chat, if Rachel deserved to be higher, who should she have been above?
Well, we'll go through this as we go throughout the rest of the rosters, because that's a full 8 rosters type thing. So we'll hold on to that question, ASG.
What I would say is that I like the first 7 rounds at least have her be televised.
I mean, I would have go above Jeff Lowe and Jack Kennedy because we know what she's capable of. Paul Walter Hauser, I'm sorry, I did not see PWH getting drafted in the actual draft.
To play devil's advocate, he may be like another Kevin Smith coming into
That's true. And then let's look at the Quirky Marks real quick because it's the other team. We don't know what Beth May can do. Love Greg Alba, but Rachel's more consistent than Greg Alba. Just gonna bring that up there. So
I mean,
name a few.
But so just so we can pull the Mercs back up for a second, just so we can have some type of comparison. So you got William Bibiani, you got the kid, Brendan Meyer, Kevin Smith, you got Andrew DeMolanta, Eric Whiteley, friend of the show, Jesse Swift, we just had him on earlier, Perry Nemiroff, Beth May, Josh Horowitz, great surprise for me, Greg Alba, Sabrina Ramirez, and John Humphrey. So I mean, the Den and the Mercs, I think, talk about well-rounded. Like, Kate not only had an incredible draft, but so did Coy.
Yeah.
Coy's draft was really good too. And the fact that like your inner geekdom's headed up by Jesse Swift, Greg Alba, and John Humphrey, you saw what John and Greg were capable of doing in the freaking inner geekdom tournament. So we know that they're solid inner geekdom players. We're taking Rachel over them. I see what you're saying. But again, it totally depends on like if you're pairing her back in the team with Goddard. We already saw how that team panned out. Do you put Goddard with Preston now, and you pair up Alonzo Duralde and Riley, or a combination of the four. But I see your point of view on Rachel Silvestrini, and I just think she should have been picked rounds before 9. Leo Logan in the chat. Riley Duralde is my team for the Den, ex-champion, helping fellow competitor with game.
Part of me thinks you're going to get a combination of 2 teams out of Preston, Riley, Goddard, and Duralde. I don't know what the combination is going to be. Part of me thinks you're better off pairing Preston with Duralde because they cover some weaknesses for each other.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any of those. Maybe I wouldn't put Preston and Riley together.
No, Preston and Riley is one I wouldn't put together.
But like Duralde and Goddard would be cool. Duralde and Preston would be cool. Riley and Goddard would be really cool to see, really fun to see. A lot of the Schmoes, SEN fans probably get a kick out of that. But I think Preston, Goddard, and Duralde Riley, as of right now, is what is what the presumption is, as AHG says in the chat. I'm just saying she wasn't drafted that low when you consider James White win the same round. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. That's actually next on the list because we got the next 2 teams we want to talk about actually, but we'll like Chris said,
the Mercs too, right?
Yeah.
Like I really dig the team the Mercs put together.
It's so well rounded. They took their shot with Beth May and Eric Whiteley, who I think is going to be great. But it's you keep the Mercs, you got Perry back, you have Sabrina, who showed high potential. I don't care about the one performance. It was her first performance.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie is amazing.
Vinny Mancuso's no slouch.
Mancuso's
no slouch.
Right. Like Jesse Swift is amazing. Chris and I helped him with the training session pre-draft. Dude knows his shit. And then the only question mark I really have is Josh Horowitz. Granted, Beth May can be considered a question mark, but that's more so because we don't have any game tape on.
No, and Josh Horowitz is one of those guys, and I know the Dungeon picked up a couple. Perry and Sabrina would be a great duo, or good duo, according to Leo Logan. Yes, I agree as well. I think that's probably that second team within the Mercs. And then if you want to have some fun with it, you can put like Perry with Beth. That'd be cool. Jesse, we were talking on his stereo a little bit ago, before the show started, and he asked me like, if I were to do teams, who would you put me with? I said like a vet. You got to do a vet like Perry or like Sabrina.
Yep.
And I love the foil that Sabrina would be to Jesse and vice versa. But I think this team is actually pretty solid. Like aside, like I'm not gonna harp on friends of the show, but like Perry Nemiroff, I said when we did the LGR draft that she would fall lower than she should, and she will be a steal in this draft. 1,000,000,000%. And also to go back to the Stars for a second, no, not the Stars, the Den, David Del Rio. I cannot agree anymore with him being one of the steals of the draft, but we'll get to the real steal in a second. That Josh Horowitz pick for the Mercs, it's one of those like internet personalities that we really don't know too much about. And for those who don't know Josh, he's like an MTV correspondent. He's done stuff for Comedy Central. He's really entertaining and hopefully knows his movies. You're going into the movie trivia Schmoedown, so hopefully you know what you got going on, because the competition is stiff. It's stiff competition. You can't let up. You got to have your foot on the gas. And the Mercs, damn, I really am looking forward to watching the Mercs play this year. Love it. Hell yeah.
All right, moving on. Got Corruption. We know who their top 4 are, but they brought back Mark Hoyk. They picked up Scrimshaw and Sullivan, solidifying their Star Wars. They picked up Jacob London, who is a great pickup, honestly, because he's the first ever Fan League champion. Bringing back Clea Wiggins, getting arguably possibly one of the biggest steals in James White, and bringing back Claudia Dolph and Elliot Dewberry. They just made a few substitutions in this draft, and I love it.
A lot of similar faces. This may be the faction that had the most had their highest return rate from season 7 to season 8. Because not only you have that top 4, but alongside Hoyk, Dolph, Wiggins, and Dewberry. So you have a lot of the same names from last season going into this season. I love that Scrimshaw pickup.
Yes.
You got to change that name, Joseph. You can't be the Jedi anymore. Not on my watch. Not on the Corruption's watch. But I love that Scrimshaw pick, that Sean Sullivan pickup. Let's not sleep on Sully. So I firmly stand by.
Can I be honest? This is the team I thought he was going to go to. So
Who, Sullivan?
Oh yeah,
it makes the most sense. And I know when we did our LGR mock draft, I chose Sullivan for the Den, but I just view Sean Sullivan as one of the more underrated Star Wars players going into this season. And the fact that corruption got him as low as they did, I think they'll be okay. And pairing him up with Scrimshaw, it's pretty damn rad. Hoik getting picked up with the first pick that corruption had. LG on the chat, what's going on, Shug? I might make sure you be careful what you say. So
really Shug.
So I think that this Bobby Gucci,
you, Gucci,
I like these guys and the show. Thanks, really, I appreciate that. So this, damn, corruption. Do they look stronger than they were last year?
No, I wouldn't say stronger. I think they're on par. They're on par is the best way to put it.
I don't know, Matt. And I'm not saying that any. Let me say this now. No faction looks bad going into season 8. No faction looks bad. All these factions are actually pretty top notch if you really think about it. Are some stronger than others? Sure, but I think corruption is in a better spot on paper than they were last year. And you can even include Collins, right? So Leo Logan in the chat, the experiment is going to do wonders on the Dewberry has embraced his heel side. Yes, if they put them back together. And then Corey Cameron in the chat, Hoyt posted a great video about Shannon picking him back up on his YouTube page. I have to check that out, Corey. I haven't seen that. And Bobby
Gucci, I've been trying to get you on here, man. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to come on Spin from the Real, by all means. We just got done talking to Triple R, Rick Raddus, El Rey Del Rage. So I mean, him with the Finstock X range, like I think he'll be fine. So Gucci, if you want to come on the show, by all means, anytime, just say the word, put the Gucci signal, and we'll answer. But corruption, I think corruption looks better than they did last season, and that's saying a lot because they just won the damn faction war or whatever you want to call it. But that doesn't mean that the other factions aren't as good or that they're not equally on par. As I mentioned, the Stars have a great setup. They have a great team. We haven't even gotten to some other factions yet. So I'm just so, and as Paige put in the chat, watch out for the suspects. Yes, that's another team you gotta look out. There's no bad faction. There's no bad faction.
Not a single one.
There's not one where you're like, damn, they could have done better. No, and they all took the risks, and now here they are.
But you're talking about corruption being better. There's one faction that is significantly better going into the season, and that's the Dungeon, because of the offseason they had. You bring in what is potentially 5 champions, potentially. Like that's insane. And Video Drew isn't going to be a slouch. We got the Jericho drama going on right now. I don't really want to touch on that, but hey, our girl Bador over at LGR swears by John Hoey. And Adam was slept on. So
this team's solid as fudge. Yes. Like it's solid AF, right? And one last thing about corruption, James White. How the hell did he fall so far?
James White because he didn't really get any play last year, so he fell. And they're shiny new toys.
Bibs, and he fell all the way to the 8th round.
There were shiny new toys. That's all.
James White, kick ass. But in regards to the Dungeon, damn it, the Dungeon. Jesus Christ. Talk about significant improvement. So John Kaiser last season went IG heavy. He had his own little monopoly on Inner Geekdom, and we saw how it panned out for him. He finished at the bottom, but that means he got the first pick in the draft. And he didn't shock too many people, but he did shock some people that expected him to go in a certain direction, and he ended up going with Mara Kanopik. Mara Kanopik as your first pick. I mean, she has a title match in a couple weeks. Leo Logan in the chat. Video Drew and Whitney Seibold, please.
Yes, agreed.
That'd be weird as hell, and I cannot wait. to see if that potential matchup, right? But I mean, you have that three-headed monster at the top. Merle, arguably the greatest of all time, depending on what outlaw you ask. Ben Bateman, I mean, probably like the best player of the last few seasons, not named Dan Merle, you know, and Robert Parker, who's about to come in like a ball of fire in the inner geekdom. Like that's I'm like, oh shit. And then you pick up Mara Kanopik on top of that. Are you kidding me? With your one pick, you pick up Mara, and then oh geez, I'm blanking on the other names. Like you get Molly Damon. Molly has like that.
Like they honestly got what I was with those first 4 picks. People I thought would be gone in rounds 1 and 2.
Right. Like you get Amara, you get a Molly, Video Drew, and Whitney Seibold, and that is one hell of a. That's 7 players who can potentially be champions by the end of this year. Yes, that includes Whitney Seibold. I'm sorry if that comes off as an unpopular opinion or hot take, but he totally can. He got damn close for critically acclaimed, and if you put him with the right partner, I think they can do some great stuff. But after that, that's where it kind of trails off, in my opinion. You get Jericho as early as
but it makes up for the fact that they got Witt next. If they hadn't gotten Witt, I'd kind of agree with you. But they got Witt right after Jericho.
Yeah, and like you get Jericho and Adam Witt, who's been a hot commodity, proven commodity within the dungeon. John Hoey, I saw the interview he did. I believe it was on Gucciverse, and he seems like a really dope guy. Flickinger, with the 8th round pick, and then Chris Van Fleet, sticking to the wrestling theme, picking up Van Fleet. Another guy like Josh Horowitz, who's no stranger to movies, but how is he with the movie knowledge? That's the question. But you can't, that top 7 with the dungeon. And then if Bedore's correctly, from our homies at LGR, if Bedore's correct, and John Hoey is as good as she makes him out to be, holy shit. Adam Witt has been a proven commodity within the dungeon last season, helping a lot with a lot of the training, from the words of John Kaiser. Okay, word. Jericho, if he plays, that's a marquee name. Chris Van Fleet, we'll see what he's capable of. And John Flickinger legitimately reviews movies, and I guarantee all that muscle mass.
Another Cleveland guy, if I remember correctly. Another Cleveland guy.
Definitely in Ohio. Definitely in Ohio.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him at screening just come in. So
yeah, you're flexing on me like John Flickinger would. So let's go ahead and
last 2 factions. We just did Chris's 2 favorite factions. Now we do my 2 factions. Got to show our love to Swag. Winston doing all the right things.
Why gotta say it like that? Yeah, show our love to Swag. Like why gotta say it like that?
I'm still a little miffed by the Ace pick, how he did Ace, but I understand it. He was lucky Ace slid to that next round. That's all I gotta say.
1,000%. Yeah.
He got lucky. Mancuso, big pickup. Haley Fouch, very good pickup, especially that late. Jen Kemp, very slept on. I don't know who Bradley Tingle is. Frank Moran, interested to see what he can do. I know he had 1 match this past season, didn't really get to do much with it. But the return of John Harris, what does that mean for final exam? Do we split up final exam and go Harris brothers and loose cannons, or do we pair Zipper with Mancuso? Or I have questions, and I want those answered. But you might be able to answer those next week. So I'll digress.
A lot of those guys have ties with the dungeon.
Yeah,
and I want to know how that carries over into Swag, like Oyama, Zipper, Mancuso. I want to know how that pans out going into season 8. Do you put Zipper with Mancuso since they just got done studying all together last year? Do you put Zipper with Oyama? Do you put the Harris Bros back together? Like, there, of course, there's so many questions, and we won't know yet per se. So, all I will say is that Swag had themselves one hell of a draft.
Yes.
The fact that, like, I mean, Frank Moran, you go with your gut. Winston liked keeping some of his players, like Ace Cabrera, which I do agree with you, Matt. He got lucky with Ace. He got so mother trucking lucky. But holy hell, that's one twosome in Star Wars, Laura Kelly and Ace. And I'm pretty sure everybody was shocked with him picking Laura over Ace, especially with that being his guy. You got What's that?
Oh no, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Jen Kemp, super slept on, and we'll see what she's capable of this year. She had a great showing against Video Drew this past season, and she's stepping into some inner geekdom. She had that match against Damon, but Damon just bested her, and we'll see what she can do this upcoming season with Winston now at the helm of her faction. But it's hard to avoid that top 4. It's really hard to avoid that because it's really solid. Chandru, the inner geekdom champion.
The top 6 is solid. Look at that.
I would go as far as saying top 7 with Mancuso.
No, I'd say top 8. That's the thing. Like
the whole faction's good, Matt. Like the whole damn faction.
And that's all. Like Winston didn't fuck around with this draft. Pardon my language, but he didn't. So
no, and he didn't go any rooks, all proven or
semi-proven commodity. Like
semi-proven commodities.
He did get a rook. He did get one rook. Bradley Tingle.
Bradley Tingle. That's one hell of a profile picture, by the way.
Oh shit.
But we're gonna jump the gun. What I will say with Swag, another one of those teams that had a great draft, and to end the draft with John Harris, I used to televise draft, and I've not seen the Tingle video. ASG in the chat. I have to watch it now, I guess. The guy flew under the radar. It's hard to keep up with over almost 200 names going into a draft. So, but I know you're excited to talk about this last faction, especially since we got the boy in the chat. So let's talk some Finstock exchange, baby.
The best draft, as said by our guests. Our Bobby Gucci in the chat. Our draft will go down in history as the best draft. We're gonna make future stars and history. Taylor Cleek, the advocate of the Rager. The landscape of the Schmoedown is changing with our draft.
We got a real Finstock heavy draft. John Roca, the Barbarian, JTE. Got Griffin Newman at the top. Evan Bushkar. Mark Haas. Ty Lieberman. Brother Lomas. Rick Raddus, the Rager. Jeremy Kahn. And it's Tim Taylor Porter. Excuse me.
Foster. Tim Taylor Foster.
Excuse me. And Taylor Robinson.
I'm really excited she got picked up.
So I will.
Thank you, ASG.
I got a DM.
Probably on Discord.
Either way, so look, bold as hell, taking mostly rookies. Taylor Robinson's no rook, but she didn't play too much in the Schmoedown, so I don't want to lump her in with the rest of them. But my God, what a I forgot.
It's so great. It's so great.
There's so many rooks, and
yes, because Taylor, I went back and watched her 5-way. She was great in that 5-way. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't a 5-way, she probably would have won.
And she is a born again rookie, so I will consider her a rook. So we got a lot of rookies on the exchange, and apparently in our chat is awfully exchange heavy tonight with Bobby Gucci, with the Regent, Taylor Cleek, and the Barbarian. So Taylor Cleek in the chat, seriously, people are going to be so sad they didn't pick her up when they could. And that's your last pick, dude. That may end up being a steal in the draft. Like James White and Rachel Silvestrini will go alongside Taylor Robinson.
It's also vice versa, Leo Logan. I was listening to Craig and JTE's talk on stereo the other day. JTE wanted Jeffrey Kahn. I'm really excited because that's a high praise.
I saw him on Gucciverse. I love that guy. I love Jeremy Kahn. I had no idea who he was until he got drafted, and I was like, Kahn! And I saw him afterwards. I'm like, yo, that's dope. This guy's awesome, and I cannot wait to see what he's capable of. It's a lot of it's a lot of, you can't lie, it's some risky biscuits. Going all rooks.
But that's what here. This is, and you know me, I've been a Finstock exchange for since day one.
You've definitely been marking out for the Finstock exchange for a while now.
And honestly, it was one of the 3 teams I wanted Rager to go to the most, so I was happy. But Craig, Kim Taylor Foster is the entertainment editor of Fandom. Why did the league sleep on her? gonna kill it. She has to see the stuff for a living. She is gonna be killer in new releases most likely. Like,
I mean, you off the bat, Griffin Newman going in the first round.
Taylor warned us about it. Taylor warned us about him. Taylor, even as soon as he was on that final list, Taylor was in the group chat. Oh my God, Griffin Newman's in the draft. Why is that such a big deal? Dude, he's gonna massacre it, kill it. You don't understand.
Arthur from the Tick. Come on now.
He's Watto from the George Lucas podcast.
Yeah, he's Watto. Like, what the hell? But you can't, and I will play devil's advocate because of course, right? Like getting a bunch of rooks, and if you have a manager like Bobby Gucci alongside someone as knowledgeable in the game as the Barbarian, you're gonna have a good draft, and you're gonna trust these draft picks, all these rookies.
Yes, ASG, there was new releases.
So they I don't doubt their drafting ability, and the only question mark to play devil's advocate, it's a lot of unproven commodities, whether they played in fan leagues or not, and obviously they got their hands on it. That's wow.
That's a high statement.
That's
Griffin Newman from Draft Day fame. Taylor was shocked, and I'm like, yeah, Griffin Newman from Draft Day, right? He's like, wait, you actually know he's from Draft Day?
Yeah, Griffin Newman from the Tick, of course. So the that's high praise coming from the Barbarian. One competitor who will go into the season with not only a chip but an Elvis on his shoulder as well. So I'm looking forward to the Finstock Exchange because it's one big question mark, and all the potential, like we don't know where that will take them, and we will see that as the season unfolds. If what the Barbarian and what Bobby Gucci is saying is correct, then holy shit, we're in for one hell of a season for the Finstock Exchange. But like again, like Taylor Robinson being a born again rookie in Barbarian's eyes, that's a lot of rooks, and that's a lot of question marks. But again, you gotta see how it happens. You can't knock it until you see some type of action.
Now we haven't even talked about the biggest question mark on their team, and that's Brother Lomas.
Yeah. We haven't seen anything of him that's not on the Facebook page. Craig in the chat says, I was unproven last year. I don't think it's hard to teach the game to people, and the people who helped prep me for my first match were Zagnino and Roca.
And see, Barbarian, I'm going to agree with you there, because the other last Thursday before the draft, when we were on LGR, Shug asked, he's like, do you think it's going to be easier to teach the game or character work? And I straight up said, it's easier to teach the game. Anyone can learn movie trivia. It's about putting in the work, the effort, and the time. If you don't put that in, you're not going to survive in this league. And I'm already seeing some of these rookies putting that work in.
No, totally. And that was one hell of a conversation too. And I don't think there's an incorrect answer, Taylor, in the chat. I've been wondering why Griffin Newman isn't in Schmoedown for as long as I've been watching. Always knew he would destroy. Can't wait to see it. But to answer your question about Brother Lomas, we haven't seen anything of him that's not in the Facebook group or not on Facebook in general. I don't know what this man's capable of. Obviously, the people that drafted him know what he's capable of. But yeah, we've heard nothing on any after shows, on anything that's not a Facebook video. So I can't wait to see Brother Lomas play when he does play, whenever that is. Barbarian in the chat, Griffin Newman will make Dan Murrow look like John Kaiser. Holy shit. That's one hell of a sentence.
High praise.
High praise.
High praise.
That's some real shit.
And it's only making me more excited. Like I seriously can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing Griffin Newman play too. Especially to take it first round. Holy hell. So I mean, just in summation, there's not a bad faction. There's not a faction where you're like, what? Every manager did their due diligence, and they drafted the best team they could. And it shows, and it's reflected in every single one of these teams. And my God, on February, you said 19th?
February 19th, yes,
when the
sir.
season starts with that Damon Kelly undercard and with that Kanapik Dandapani title match for Inner Geekdom, now we're in it. now the Schmoedown Season 8 war has begun, and I am over the moon. I am so excited to see where the season goes. There's so many great factions, so many question marks, but in the best ways possible. I want to have, like, I don't know if we'll have that next Barbarian, if we'll have that next Collins, that rookie that just, goes above and beyond and just does their homework. Greg, or I almost said Greg. Craig in the chat, the Tyrant was just on Masterminds on GSN, dunking it out against Ken Jennings. What the hell? Who's the Tyrant?
That's Ty Lieberman. Ty Lieberman. He's one of the Barbarians' best friends. We talked about it all weekend.
Holy shit. That's one hell of a nickname, too. The Tyrant.
Right there, right in between Brother Lomas and Mark Haas.
That's
Mark the Moose Haas.
The Tyrants. That's one hell of a name. So this whole draft was incredible to watch. I loved how it was laid out. It was quick. It went by fast. All the managers seemed like they knew exactly what their pick was. I believe Thomas Harper said it earlier in Kate's case, but I think everybody was like that. And it flowed smoothly. It was a really entertaining show. And now we're on here 2 hours and 15 minutes later, and we're chatting up the season 8, which I know we're so excited for. We're so jazzed. We had to move the show up 2 days. Craig in the chat. The Moose will be the first competitor ever to get wins in all 4 divisions. Woo!
And see Taylor, we've talked about good leaders.
We had him last week on the show, and I was so jazzed, and I'm so excited to see Bushkar, who arguably brought the most character, brought the most personality out of all the Star Wars competitors. And with Finstock, I think that's a good fit. Like, Evan Bushkar made a real impression on us over here at Spin from the Reel. So Evan Bushkar, that's someone I'm gonna be looking out for this season, really alongside all the other Star Wars players. And we talk about Evan more.
We would, but here's the thing: we still got to jump into some of these rules because we're patrons, and we got the rule book today.
Not to spoil, but we got the rule book today because So Bushkar. So is Evan Bushkar his nickname, and gold leader is his gold Evan Bushkar leader is going to slay. I hope he goes by that in the actual season. That'd be freaking awesome. But no, Matt, like you mentioned, you actually the one that told me this earlier today, that the rule book was released to us, because I totally spaced out on it because the draft's been in my brain for the last few days.
So $10 and up patrons got the rule book today.
Right.
I did do a quick reading of it. It's only 17 pages. So
only for people that don't read, it's a lot of pages.
You mean like Mark Ellis?
Oh damn! Why you gotta do Mark like that? What the hell, Mark?
He's the one who says he doesn't read.
I mean, I try to read, but yeah.
I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus. He outright says he doesn't read.
Yeah, none of our links are weak.
That's right, Craig. None of your links are weak.
So, but no, Matt. So, you got to check out. Yeah, at least you got to skim through the rule book. Is there anything that stuck out to you? At least that was eye-catching enough to because we already know a lot of the changes, and we've heard a lot about the change. We've heard a lot about the changes over the last few weeks since the rule book got announced and that it'd be released to patrons and soon to be the public. What caught your eye over the rule book?
So the one I told you about beforehand, before we got on, was the exception of the correctly written answers rule. To basically go over it, if a title has "the" in the title, the word "the" is not needed, unless it is a film like Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad, or Batman and The Batman. Those are two cases where it is needed. Gucci in the chat, we drafted personality, the most skilled players, and the people with the best nicknames. Damn straight.
Yeah, I can't argue the nicknames thing. And personality, I do love me some personality in a good Schmoedown competitor.
And then the second part of that rule is if it's a movie that doesn't have "the" in the title and you add "the," then it's an incorrect answer.
Oh shit! So wow.
You can take "the" out, but you can't add "the" in.
And it's set in stone. It's set in stone.
Here in black and white. It's just
and shout out to I believe a lot of heavy lifting was done by William Bibiani.
Yes. And Ben Bateman.
Yeah, and Ben Bateman was consulted on 100%. So shout out to both of them and everybody at the Schmoedown for really putting this together. This is actually pretty cool. And I know when we first found out about this on the show, we chatted about it. And the fact that we have it all in writing now, all the fans, now we get to see it. You get to see what all the challenge conversations are about.
And then there's, my guess is when we find out slices this month, we'll find out this. But apparently in this rule book, there's mention of streaming category slices. There's a Netflix slice, a streaming slice, and a 2020 slice, a slice dedicated to theatrically released films in 2020, as well as films in 2020 that were intended for theatrical release but went straight to digital as a result of the pandemic, i.e. Trolls, Mulan, Bill and Ted Face the Music, Artemis Fowl.
So you can get just a 2020?
You can put just 2020 on there.
Oh my God. Sweet.
Granted, that's just based off of what I'm seeing right here. So
wow. That's woo. That's okay.
But it looks like there's a Netflix slice as well, like a strictly Netflix slice, a slice dedicated to prominent original Netflix films. A list of eligible films will be provided to each manager and competitor.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. The prominent. Because it's not going to be everything that Netflix puts out. Hell no.
I'm glad they're giving these people a list so they don't have to sit through the jack shit Netflix films that get released.
Unless the prominent ones are the bad ones.
Yeah.
So,
but here, and then on the streaming slice, a slice dedicated to prominent streaming films across multiple platforms, including but not limited to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Apple TV, Peacock, and Taylor Cleek's going to like this one, Shudder.
I mean, damn. That's wow. This is going to be interesting. Shout out to Bobby Gucci in the chat.
Yeah,
God bless PJ
you're
Campbell.
absolutely right. They have their work cut out for them.
They got the work cut out for them. Yes, and they're earning their paychecks, whatever. I don't know how much they get paid. So that's that's gonna be interesting. I like these new slices. Netflix has its own, and then streaming as a whole, and that includes Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The streaming slice does not include Netflix. It's
okay. So Netflix.
No, it does include Netflix. Not
okay. So
it's its own.
Yeah. It's its own thing, and it's a part of the streaming slice. That's
Give me Daniel isn't real questions.
Yeah, ASG in the chat. Shudder. Let's get some Psych Gorman questions. Taylor Click in the chat. You know what that means? Veronica questions. Is that what that means? Yes. Yeah, a lot of marking out in the chat for the Shudder category, the Shudder mentioned in the streaming category. But damn, now season 8 starts in 2 weeks, and I don't know how to act. I'm so excited for season 8, and I didn't do my due diligence. How dare I go to work? I should have dedicated some time to reading all the rule book. I'll get my full thoughts on it next week. I promise.
Yes, well, we're gonna take this week, do a deeper dive into the rule book, and come back with it.
And Matt and I will pick it apart. We're not gonna. Yes. No, I bet it's great. So,
but
the rule book is still as a whole. The fact that we have it is really, really cool.
Exactly.
Because I'm tired of. Like, oh, there's a challenge on the board. Like, how did you guys figure out that challenge? Well, there it is. It's in the rule book. Yeah. So I'm over the moon for it. Season 8's gonna rule. There's a lot of great factions, and by a lot, I mean all of them in their own way. There's a lot of diversity amongst them. We mentioned with Amaru at the top of the show. It's great seeing more folks that look a little bit different. Maybe they look like us. You know, it's really, really cool to see that. So. I am over the moon for season 8, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that's today's episode. So thank you for everyone who was watching. Thank you to Gucci. Thank you to Craig. Everybody who came on the show: Marie, Thomas, Jake, Jesse, Amaru, Paige, Rager, and thank you for everyone for tuning in. This is great. This is probably one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned in on Monday.
Our new time. It's new day, new time. First episode.
We're here rocking. We're gonna rock like this for a while, long while.
Yes.
And follow us on social media. All our social media is at the bottom. Spin from the Reel down here. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Who Are They Real Entertainment?
Follow us on Stereo.
Bang. Matt and I, we do some stereos about Schmoedown, and maybe we'll do stereos one day about other shit. But and we pop up on other people's feeds as well. So just go ahead and follow us.
LGR or others. We love our second family over at LGR, but we love Who Are They Entertainment a little bit more.
We're a sucker for a good crossover. So yes, follow us on Stereo. Follow our social medias. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like this video. Share this.
Fan League starts up next week. We're going to be announcing matches this Wednesday. Myself and Nick Molbach. Really excited for that.
Hell yeah, brother. Got a lot of great stuff going on. Thank you so much for watching.
We may have a guest or two next Monday, and we definitely have a guest in 2 weeks, but we'll get to that next week. So signing off, I am Matt. That is the personality, Chris Anthony Lopez. And remember, folks, spin from the reel, not the peg. Have a good night.
Bye. Adios.